Even at only 7 years old, an age where life should have been carefree, Naruto Namikaze had already been forced to grow up faster than most children. The reason traced back to the night he and his twin sister, Hitomi, were born. That night, a masked man dressed in black and orange infiltrated their home. Mere moments after Kushina Namikaze had given birth, the stranger tore her away, and using some twisted jutsu, ripped the Kyuubi no Yoko from her body. With the Sharingan glowing in his eye, he bent the massive beast to his will and unleashed it upon Kano Hagakure no Sato. The Nine Tails rampaged, leaving ruin in its wake. But the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, stood against it. Through a powerful sealing technique, he divided the Kyuubi's chakra. The yang half sealed within his newborn daughter Hitomi, while the yin portion was placed back into Kushina to preserve her life after the extraction. Against all odds, Kushina survived the ordeal. In the aftermath, Minato declared to the village that a great enemy had unleashed the Kyuubi upon them. He claimed victory by sealing it into Hitomi, proclaiming that she would one day wield its power to protect the people. Loyal to their Hokage, the villagers embraced Hitomi as their heroine. But Naruto was not so fortunate. Despite being her twin, his presence faded into the background. Birthdays came and went with celebrations devoted only to Hitomi. Holidays, family dinners, and vacations followed the same pattern. Naruto left behind, often forgotten. Sometimes, even his meals were neglected, and when his parents did notice him, it was little more than a dismissive nod, as though he barely existed. On their fourth birthday, Naruto had been overlooked once again. 3 years later, things hadn't changed. On this day, he planned to approach his parents, asking once more if he could join them in training alongside Hitomi, something they had been doing for months. His plea was brushed aside, told he'd only slow his sister down. The villagers were no different. Whenever Naruto introduced himself, people laughed and told him to quit lying. After all, the Hokage only had a daughter. On October 10th, his 6th birthday, Naruto awoke to see his parents preparing Hitomi's training gear. He moved closer, hoping to hear his name mentioned, but the conversation was filled only with talk of Hitomi's future. Not once was he included. The days dragged on in this endless cycle. Now, at 7 years old, Naruto watched from the sidelines as his parents instructed Hitomi in their fighting techniques. Scrolls of ninjutsu laid out before her. Every day, Naruto prayed for just a sliver of acknowledgement, a shred of acceptance. Each time he gathered the courage to ask if he could join, they dismissed him. To them, Hitomi, carrying the Kyuubi within her, was the one in need of their guidance. Even his godparents, Jirya and Tsunade, showed no interest in him. After too many rejections, Naruto resolved to teach himself. He scavenged his father's library, poring over scrolls and books on chakra control, convinced that if he could master something on his own, his parents would finally see his worth. Leaving the compound, Naruto ventured to an open training field used by shinobi. He unrolled a scroll he had borrowed from Minato's study. It detailed an intermediate exercise: tree walking, tree climbing. Channel chakra into the soles of the feet, then walk vertically up a tree. Too much chakra causes the bark to crack and throw you off, too little and you slip. The key lies in balance and consistency. Naruto carefully read the description, then tried it. He pressed chakra into his feet, placing one foot against the tree, then the other. For a moment, he stuck, but after his next step, his control slipped, sending him tumbling to the ground. "Damn it, thought I had it," he muttered, brushing dirt from his clothes. "Guess it's harder than it looks, but no pain, no gain." Determined, he tried again, and again. Each attempt, he silently wished this effort would finally make his parents proud. Unbeknownst to him, someone hidden in the shadows observed his persistence. Later, Naruto returned to the backyard of his home, where his parents and sister were eating bowls of Ikaraku ramen. They hardly noticed him at first. Steeling himself, Naruto stepped forward. "Dad, Mom," he called. Both Minato and Kushina glanced at him, suppressing sighs. "What is it, Naruto?" Minato asked, setting his bowl down. "I wanted to show you something I learned," Naruto said nervously. Minato exchanged a quick look with Kushina before replying, "Fine, show us." Excited, Naruto ran to a nearby tree and without hand signs sprinted upward, clinging with chakra. He held himself for several seconds before leaping down, landing with a hopeful grin. Instead of pride, he saw anger. Hitomi's face flushed red, her ramen slipping from her hands. Her brother, her overlooked brother, had learned something before she had. The realization infuriated her. Kushina's jaw tightened, but Minato moved first. "Well, what do you think?" Naruto asked eagerly. The response was a slap so fierce it sent him crashing back into the very tree he had scaled. "You reckless brat," Minato roared. "Who taught you that technique?" "I got it F from a S scroll in Why Your S study," Naruto stammered. "You worthless child," Kushina spat. "How dare you steal without permission? We provide you with everything, food, clothes, a home, and you repay us with this. We told you clearly, your training begins at the academy. But no, you sneak around just to force our hand. Your sister's training is vital. She must learn to master the Kyuubi's power. You, Naruto, don't need it. Now get to your room." Tears blurred his vision. Their words cut deeper than the slap. Even Hitomi joined in, storming up to him. "Naruto, you idiot," she screamed, striking him across the face. "You heard your mother," Minato growled. "Go to your room." "No dinner tonight." Naruto staggered up, rage twisting inside him. "I hate you all," he screamed before bolting into the house, leaving his stunned family behind. For the first time, their chests ached at his words. That night after dinner, Minato and Kushina lay in bed, weighed down by guilt. "Maybe we went too far," Kushina admitted softly, pulling on her nightgown. "Yeah," Minato sighed. "I shouldn't have hit him. I was just so frustrated, seeing him sneak around like that. But in trying to protect him, I think I hurt him worse." "He's been begging us for training, and we kept ignoring him," Kushina said quietly as she joined him. "Maybe we should start with the basics, some taijutsu, a few easy jutsu, at least something." "I'll send a shadow clone to train him tomorrow," Minato agreed. "Maybe if I teach him the Rasengan, he'll forgive us." "He will," Kushina whispered, closing her eyes. "He has too." Meanwhile, in her room, Hitomi tried to focus on a book Jiraiya had given her, but her mind kept drifting back to her brother. Why hadn't he told her he was training? They were twins, they shouldn't keep secrets. Maybe she should apologize. Maybe even show him some of what she was learning. Resolved, she padded down the hall, stopping outside Naruto's door. She realized she had never once stepped inside his room. Knocking softly, she waited. No response. He must be asleep or maybe just angry, she thought. Still, she refused to leave. Turning the knob, she was surprised to find it unlocked. Pushing the door open, Hitomi finally stepped inside. Her violet eyes widened as she stepped inside. The room was hollow, lifeless. White walls stretched around her bare, without posters, drawings, or the warmth of decorations like the ones she kept in her own room. The bed was perfectly made, too neat, almost untouched. Other than that, only a dresser, a desk, and a closet sat in the corners. But what struck her most, her brother wasn't there. She thought about calling their parents, but something on the desk caught her attention, a plain white envelope. Maybe that would explain where he went. Slowly, she walked over, picked it up, and tore it open. A folded sheet of paper slipped out. As her eyes skimmed over the words, her throat tightened. Instead of speaking, she released a piercing scream. With Minato and Kushina had just closed her eyes, ready to drift into sleep when she jolted awake. The security seals around the compound flared. She and Minato immediately leapt out of bed, alarm sharp in their chests. The seals were triggered in Naruto's room. Before they could reach it, a scream split the quiet night. They dashed inside, Kushina's instincts pulling her straight toward the sound. She pushed open a door and froze. It wasn't Naruto's room, it was Hitomi's. Empty, but sobbing echoed from the next room over. Rushing there, Kushina found Naruto's door wide open, the light still on. Her heart dropped. The room was unnervingly empty, stripped of life. Clean floors, stark white walls, not even a toy or drawing in sight. No trace of a 5-year-old's presence. Hitomi sat crumpled on the floor, clutching a letter, tears streaming down her cheeks. Dread filled Kushina's chest as she hurried forward and pulled her daughter into her arms. "Hitomi, what's wrong?" she asked softly, brushing her hair back. Between sobs, the little girl choked out, "Onii-chan, I came to say sorry, but he's not here. He's gone." By then, Minato appeared at the doorway, eyes wide at the barren room. His throat went dry. "Kushina," she didn't respond. Instead, she gently pried the crumpled note from Hitomi's hands and began to read aloud. "Today I finally realized the truth. You all see me as nothing but a weight holding you back. So I've made my choice to leave. Now you can have the family you always wanted, without me getting in the way. Enjoy your life with your precious daughter, Minato Namikaze and Kushina Namikaze. Goodbye. Naruto. The words were short, but sharp enough to carve guilt into their hearts. Their son was gone, driven away by their own neglect. Earlier that night, with Naruto sat on the edge of his bed, tears spilling freely. His father's harsh strike still stung, not just on his skin but deep inside. Yes, he had stolen a scroll to learn from, but did that justify such cruelty? It all pointed to the same painful truth: they didn't care for him. All they ever cared about was Hitomi, their perfect little daughter, the one with the fox's power. This wasn't family, not anymore. His small fists clenched. He couldn't stay here. If they wouldn't see his worth, then he'd leave and carve his own path. He would travel, train, and one day rise as the strongest shinobi alive. With shaking hands, he opened his closet and pulled out a worn backpack. He tossed it on the bed, then reached under the mattress for a small scroll. Kneeling on the floor, he carefully inked sealing formulas, creating storage space. Once done, he packed his few clothes, meager possessions since his parents had stopped providing for him years ago. Most of what he had came from odd chores he'd done for the one kind person who had shown him compassion. Alongside the clothes, he slid in a couple of scrolls and books he had swiped from the clan library. Before sealing it all away, he paused. A lump caught in his throat. He should at least leave behind a letter, his final words, so they would know why. With everything packed, he formed a hand sign. Fuin. The scroll glowed faintly, swallowing his belongings. I owe Itachi a thank you, he thought bitterly. Without him teaching me the basics, I wouldn't have pulled this off. Sliding open his window, Naruto carefully placed a suppressing seal over the alarm trigger. It would delay its activation long enough for him to get away. Taking one last look at the bare room, tears welled again. He jumped out, landing softly before sprinting toward the village streets. By the time the alarms would catch on, he'd be gone. He ran, heart pounding, tears streaming, but he didn't look back. If he hesitated, he'd lose his resolve. Turning a corner too sharply, he collided with someone. Stumbling back, he looked up at a tall figure cloaked in a hood and mask. Only sharp emerald eyes glowed beneath. Sorry, Naruto mumbled. No harm done, the stranger replied calmly. His voice was deep, steady. Then he tilted his head, gaze sharp. Judging by that backpack, you're either heading on a trip or running away. I'd bet on the second. Naruto stiffened, panic threatening to rise until the man continued, Relax, I'm not turning you in. In fact, I have an offer for you. Naruto blinked. A deal, the figure nodded. I've seen you train. Your persistence caught my eye, so let me ask you this. Do you want power? Do you want to be among people who accept you, who treat you as their equal? Those words hit Naruto harder than anything else. His heart leapt, and before doubt could creep in, he blurted, Yes. The man extended his hand. Then come with me, I'll give you everything I just promised. Naruto hesitated for only a second before meeting the man's gaze. Those emerald eyes carried no lie, only conviction. Slowly, Naruto placed his small hand into his. In an instant, blinding light engulfed them both. When Naruto's eyes adjusted, his breath caught. He was no longer in the village. All around him stretched an endless, shimmering void, filled with swirling colors like shattered glass. Where are we? He whispered. This is the dimension gap, the man explained. A space between worlds. Without protection, anyone who enters here is erased instantly. Naruto's blood ran cold, but the stranger laid a reassuring hand on his shoulder. Don't panic, I've set up a barrier. Naruto frowned. Barrier magic. That's not real. The man chuckled softly and removed his hood and mask. His face was striking, long black hair tied into a ponytail, sharp features, and a high-collared white coat marked with a blue cross. His presence radiated confidence and strength. Kid, I'm taking you to a world called Earthland, a place where magic is real. Naruto's mouth hung open. Magic for real? The man nodded. Yes, but understand, I've grown tired of living. I'm immortal, unable to age or die naturally. The only way out is to fall in battle or to pass my legacy on. His piercing gaze fell on Naruto. I've chosen you, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Naruto staggered back. What? Why me? How do you even know my name? I've looked into your memories, the man said simply, and I saw a reflection of myself in you. I know your pain, I know your loneliness, that's why. Naruto clenched his fists, his bangs shadowing his eyes. "Who are you?" The man knelt, gently ruffling his hair. His smile was calm, almost brotherly. "Call me Light, and from this moment I'm giving you all my knowledge, my magic, my strength. Use it to protect what matters, to fight for justice, and to rise as Earthland's greatest mage." W8. Light pressed 2 fingers to Naruto's forehead. Another flash of light erupted, flooding Naruto's mind with visions of strange spells, otherworldly powers, and memories not his own. When the light faded, Naruto found himself alone in a cavern, clutching his pounding head. After minutes of throbbing pain, he staggered to his feet and stumbled toward the exit. At the mouth of the cave, he froze. The world stretched before him, mountains, forests, rivers, so vast and breathtaking it stole his breath. So this is Earthland, Naruto thought, wonder sparking in his chest. He stepped forward, eyes burning with determination. His new journey had begun. "Who!" Naruto yelled, shooting upward into the sky like a rocket. The wind whipped against his face, and for a moment it felt like flying had always been second nature to him. But deep down he knew, it was thanks to Jin's guidance that he had finally tapped into his magic. So this is what magic feels like. This is amazing, Naruto thought, excitement bursting inside him as he soared higher. Just then, a thunderous roar shook the air. He froze mid-flight and peered down. His eyes widened when he spotted a massive green eastern dragon rampaging through a village, tearing it apart. Naruto clenched his fists, unsure of what to do, until Light's words echoed in his mind. "These gifts aren't for yourself. Use them to protect those dear to you, stand for justice, and rise to become the strongest mage this world has ever seen, Naruto. He entrusted me with his will. He wants me to help others, and I won't let him down," Naruto thought, his expression hardening with resolve. "Meteor!" he shouted. His body shimmered in a golden aura before he shot forward at blinding speed. The dragon raised its claw, ready to crush a small girl cowering beneath it. But before the strike could land, Naruto blurred into view, scooped the child into his arms, and leapt clear of the attack. The girl looked up at him, trembling, while Naruto gave her his trademark grin. "You okay?" he asked gently. She nodded, still in shock. Setting her down safely, Naruto straightened and turned toward the towering beast. "Who dares interfere?" "A mere human," the dragon snarled. Naruto didn't flinch, his gaze remained firm. "I doesn't matter who I am because you won't live to remember it. Requip, he roared. A flash of light enveloped his body. When it faded, Naruto stood clad in a gleaming suit of armor, a shield strapped to one arm and a sword forming from the shield itself. "Aegis armor," he muttered, lowering into battle stance. The dragon's eyes narrowed, then it lunged. "Die!" it bellowed. Naruto braced his shield as the dragon's massive head slammed against it, sending a shockwave tearing through the area. Gritting his teeth, Naruto shoved the beast's head upward, creating an opening. His aura flared once more, wrapping him in golden light as he dashed forward. His shield slammed into the dragon's chest with crushing force, sending the beast flying through several buildings. Naruto leapt skyward, crossing his arms and spreading 2 fingers on his right hand. 7 glowing seals flared into existence, aligning into a constellation. "Grand Chariot!" Naruto shouted, releasing torrents of radiant blasts that rained down on the dragon. The village shook as the explosion roared. Dust and smoke filled the air, but from within the haze, the dragon's furious roar rang out again. "You dare, insect!" It spat, lightning sparking between its jaws before unleashing a devastating bolt. Naruto raised his shield, absorbing the attack. As the energy cleared, he lowered it, only to see the dragon already upon him, claws descending. "Meteor!" he cried, vanishing in a streak of golden light. The claws smashed into the ground, leaving deep fissures. Seeing the dragon trapped, Naruto seized his chance. "This ends now," he said coldly, summoning a glowing magic circle in front of him. "White magic. Blame Buster." Naruto thrust his sword through the circle, releasing a piercing beam of energy. The attack drilled through the dragon's chest. For a moment, the world went still. Then, with a thunderous crash, the dragon collapsed lifeless to the ground as the magic circle faded. Naruto exhaled heavily, reverting to his normal clothes. Then the sound of voices reached his ears. Turning, he saw villagers pouring out from hiding, cheering, and praising him. "Give way, make room for our hero," an elderly voice called out. The crowd parted, revealing an old man walking forward. He bowed deeply. "Thank you for saving not just our people, but also my granddaughter. May we know the name of our savior?" Naruto smiled warmly. Recognition, real gratitude, it felt incredible. This was the path Light had set him on. "My name's Naruto, but who was that dragon?" "That was Rado, the lightning dragon," the elder explained grimly. "For years, he tormented our home. Many guilds tried to slay him, but none returned. We had given up hope until you appeared." He lowered himself to the ground in a full bow, and soon, the entire village followed. Naruto scratched the back of his head awkwardly. "Well, I'm glad I could help, but could I ask a favor?" "Anything, Naruto-sama," the elder said immediately. "Just some basics, food, water, maybe a little coin. I'm traveling and I didn't exactly pack for dragon slaying." Naruto chuckled sheepishly. The elder nodded. "Of course, but first, please stay and help us rebuild. We'll provide shelter until our village is restored." Naruto agreed, then suddenly pulled a scroll from his pocket. He scanned it, smirked, and formed a hand sign. "Shadow Clone Jutsu." In a puff of smoke, hundreds of Narutos appeared, leaving the villagers dumbfounded. "Let's rebuild this place," the original shouted. "YOSH," the clones roared in unison. 8 days later, Naruto had become the village's hero. Between helping reconstruct homes, training, and refining both ninjutsu and magic, his days were full. Though Light had gifted him knowledge of magic, Naruto still needed practice to master it. With his clones' help, he pored over books from the untouched library, studying Earthland's lore and magical arts. The villagers also advised him on the dragon's corpse. Parts of it were crafted into armor and clothing, while the rest Naruto sealed in scrolls. Outfitted in a green vest over a white shirt, black pants, and sturdy boots, Naruto now stood before the villagers. "Thank you all for your kindness. I'll never forget the gifts you've given me," he said, bowing. "No, Naruto-sama, it is us who should thank you," the elder replied, holding out a shining golden key. "This was meant for whoever defeated Rado. You've earned it." Naruto studied the key, recognizing the mark of Virgo. "A zodiac key, I can form a contract," he realized. Activating it, a magic circle blazed, and a girl with short pink hair and green eyes appeared, clad in a maid outfit with shackles on her wrists. "My name is Virgo. Who is my new master?" she asked softly. Naruto smiled. "I'm Naruto." "Then may I call you master?" she asked, bowing her head. He nodded. She explained her powers, earth and chain magic, and promised her service. Naruto dismissed her kindly, letting her return. Taking flight once more, Naruto waved farewell. "Thank you again for everything. Until we meet again." As he soared away, he thought to himself, "Accepting Light's offer was the best choice I ever made. This is my new life, and I'll become the greatest mage Earthland has ever known." 4 years later, time passed quickly. Naruto had become a mercenary, traveling Earthland and living freely. News of his battle against Rado spread across the land, sparking challenges from other dragons. Unbeknownst to him, Rado had once been king among lightning dragons, and his defeat drew rivals like moths to flame. One by one, they came. One by one, Naruto slew them, sealing their remains. With each victory, he grew stronger, forging new armors, new techniques, and a name that would echo across Earthland. Naruto was caught off guard when Virgo explained that he could create weapons and even dragon lacrimas. Curious, he asked her what they were. To his shock, she revealed that a dragon lacrima was formed using the remains of a dragon's skull and heart. If implanted, the crystal would grant its host artificial dragon slayer abilities. The idea fascinated Naruto immediately. He told Virgo to prepare several, but she warned him it would take 5 years just to craft one. That didn't bother him at all. During those years, Naruto pushed himself relentlessly. On the chakra side, his skill set was still basic. Shadow clones, transformation, and substitution were the only jutsu he had mastered. But when it came to magic, he made rapid progress. By using his clones, he trained day and night, absorbing almost everything contained within the light memory. Eventually, Naruto set out for a new city to find work. Traveling down the winding path, he suddenly froze. A surge of incredible magic pulsed from somewhere deep in the forest. Without hesitation, he veered off the road to investigate. After several minutes, he reached a clearing where the energy was strongest. "That's strange," he muttered. "I can feel it, but I can't see anything." As he moved toward the center, his eyes caught a strange marking etched into the earth. Kneeling down, he brushed the dirt away and revealed a dragon emblem. Then, words began to glow faintly beneath it. Naruto read aloud, "Rise and awaken, the first dragon god slayer." He frowned, confused, but before he could question further, the seal erupted with light. A massive magic circle flared beneath his feet, and a column of brilliance descended from the sky. In the blink of an eye, Naruto vanished. Dragon realm When Naruto opened his eyes again, he was standing in a rugged land surrounded by towering mountains. Above him, dragons soared across the skies, their wings blotting out the sun. "What is this place?" he whispered. Turning, his breath caught. A colossal gate stood before him, carved with the same dragon symbol. Drawn by instinct, he reached out. As soon as his hand touched it, the sigil blazed with white light and the gate swung open. Beyond was a breathtaking garden. He stepped inside cautiously, only to hear the heavy slam of the gates closing behind him. There was no way back. Sighing, he pressed forward until a massive shadow fell across him. A dragon landed before him, silver scales glimmering, golden horns jutting from its head, and a radiant emerald jewel gleaming on its forehead. Its piercing blue eyes studied Naruto, yet there was no hostility. Still, Naruto instinctively donned his Aegis armor and prepared for battle. But instead of attacking, the dragon lowered its head, meeting his gaze. "Human, who are you, and how did you cross into this realm?" The silver dragon rumbled. Sensing no malice, Naruto lowered his guard. "I'm Naruto Hakuto," he answered. He had long abandoned his family names, refusing to carry reminders of Konoha in this new world. He explained how he had stumbled across the seal and been transported here. The dragon's gem began to glow, and suddenly Naruto was racked with searing pain. He screamed, collapsing as his armor vanished. For several agonizing minutes, his body felt like it was burning from the inside out. When the torment subsided, a glowing mark appeared on his back. Panting, he demanded, "What the hell just happened? And what's this mark?" "That crest signifies your destiny," the dragon declared. "You are the first dragon god slayer. You will wield every elemental force, rise above all other slayers, and claim the title of Dragon King." Naruto's eyes widened. "I'm no dragon slayer. I've fought some dragons, but I've never learned that magic." The dragon spread his massive wings and roared. "Then I shall make you one. I am Ryu, the first dragon ever born, the dragon god. I will train you myself, Naruto, and shape you into the first dragon god slayer." Naruto could feel the overwhelming power radiating from him. The dragons he had defeated before would be nothing compared to Ryu. And though reluctant, he realized this could be the path to protecting those in need. "Fine," he said at last. "I'll do it. I'll become a dragon slayer, a dragon god slayer strong enough to kill even a god." Ryu smirked. "Then your training begins tomorrow." With that, the great dragon spread his wings and took off, leaving Naruto alone to contemplate what lay ahead. "This is gonna take a while," he muttered. 10 years later Dragon God, Cosmic Roar. A 21-year-old Naruto unleashed a rainbow-colored beam from his mouth. Ryu countered with the same attack, and their blasts collided, triggering a cataclysmic explosion that shook the skies. Smoke filled the air, but Naruto quickly sensed Ryu's location. Gathering rainbow flames around his fists, he launched upward. "Dragon God, Cosmic Fist!" His blow struck Ryu's chest, hurling the massive dragon through mountain ranges. Hovering in the air with flight magic, Naruto braced himself as Ryu emerged from the dust cloud. The dragon inhaled, white flames crackling in his maw. Naruto mirrored him, exhaling his own fire. Fire Dragon's Roar! The two streams collided, but Ryu's white flames easily overwhelmed Naruto's. He barely dodged, countering by cloaking himself in rainbow fire and diving in. "Dragon Slayer's secret art," he roared, his speed surging. "Cosmic star form, elemental dragon blade." The impact detonated like a star-going nova, sending shockwaves across the land. When the dust settled, Ryu bore only bruises while Naruto, flames fading, plummeted. The dragon caught him gently before he hit the ground. "He's improved," Ryu murmured. "An hour in dragon force is no small feat. But it's still not enough to defeat Acknowledgea." For a decade, Ryu had pushed Naruto through brutal training. Grueling exercises left his body battered, but his shadow clones made mastering every elemental dragon technique possible. It took 5 years to learn them all, earning Ryu's respect. Next came fusion techniques. Combining elements gave Naruto immense destructive power, but drained him quickly. Ryu forced him through another 2 years of harsh conditioning to expand his reserves. Finally came Dragon Force, the peak state of a dragon slayer, granting true draconic power. Ryu taught him to absorb vast amounts of it or nano through meditation, a process Naruto eventually hacked by using clones. Months of effort paid off. He achieved Dragon Force, though at first it lasted only 10 minutes. Still, Ryu was proud. Naruto had done what no one else could, become the first dragon god slayer. Several minutes later, Naruto stirred awake, blinking as his eyes met Ryu's calm gaze. With a sudden jolt, he sat upright and rubbed his head. "How long was I out?" Naruto asked groggily. "Roughly 30 minutes," Ryu replied. "But you managed to last an entire hour in your Dragon Force state. That's a step forward, but still far from enough to take down Acknowledgea." Naruto let out a long sigh. "At least I'm moving in the right direction." Ryu gave him a nod. "True, and with that your training with me has reached its end." Naruto tilted his head in confusion. "Huh, but I didn't even beat you." "I never said victory over me was the requirement," Ryu explained patiently. "What I needed to know was your stamina, how long you could endure Dragon Force. An hour is impressive enough. That's sufficient for now. I'll be sending you back to Earthland soon, but before that, there are things you must hear." Naruto straightened and gave a small nod. "First," Ryu continued, "soon the dragons will vanish from Earthland during an event called the Dragon King Festival. Many will leave behind their foster children. Second, I suggest you reduce your age to around 11. Most dragon slayers will be close to that age, and it'll help you blend in." Naruto groaned loudly, clutching his head. "Great. That means more physical conditioning and, puberty all over again." Ryu simply rolled his eyes and smacked Naruto lightly on the back of the head. "Quit whining. Look at it as a fresh chance to connect with the other dragon slayers. Besides, you won't need to relearn your magic, you'll still carry your mastery." Naruto rubbed his head, glaring playfully at him. "And lastly," Ryu's expression softened, "no matter what happens, know that I'm proud of you. I believe you're destined to become the next Dragon King." Naruto's eyes widened, his heart skipping a beat. Hearing those words filled him with determination he hadn't known he needed. Slowly, a goofy grin spread across his face as he gave Ryu a thumbs up. "Count on me, old man." Ryu chuckled at the blonde's enthusiasm. "I know you'll succeed. Now stand up. I'll send you back." Naruto rose to his feet as a glowing magic circle formed beneath him. In moments, his body shimmered and vanished into light. Ryu gazed up toward the sky and whispered softly, "Good luck, Naruto, my foster son." Earthland a magic circle lit up on the ground, and Naruto's figure appeared within it. When the glow faded, he found himself exactly where he had been before. Exhaling deeply, he clasped his hands. "White magic, age reversal," he murmured. His body radiated with white light, shrinking and reshaping until he looked like an 11-year-old again. The glow died out, leaving Naruto staring down at his smaller frame. "Guess I'd better head to town. Haven't had a decent meal in 10 years. With a smirk, he broke into a sprint toward civilization. 2 years later, X779 2 years passed since Naruto's return to Earthland, and much had changed. He traveled endlessly, completing missions that caught his interest, escorts, guild hunts, and the extermination of dark guilds. He rebuilt his body through relentless training, designed intricate sealing techniques for combat, and obsessed over recreating Minato's Hurricane no Jutsu, though the notes he'd swiped from his old home were still frustratingly incomplete. Now, his journey had brought him to Magnolia. He had decided to settle into a guild, tired of wandering, and a particular rumor caught his attention. Fairy Tail was home to a dragon slayer. Disguised with a mask covering the lower half of his face, a white bandana tied across his head, and a flowing white cloak, Naruto finally stood before the towering guild hall. Its size impressed him. Grasping the handle, he pushed the door open. The room was full of laughter, chatter, and of course, fighting. "Come on, pervert, is that all you've got?" shouted a pink-haired boy about Naruto's age, clad in a red shirt, baggy shorts, black sandals, and a scarf. This was Natsu Dragneel. You're going down, flame brain, a shirtless black-haired boy barked back, gray fullbuster. The two clashed loudly, making Naruto sweat drop. Hello, young man, a voice spoke near his legs. Looking down, Naruto spotted an elderly man dressed in a white shirt with a fairy tale emblem beneath an orange hoodie, matching shorts, and a striped jester hat. I'm looking for the guild master, Naruto said politely. The old man chuckled. That would be me, Makarov Drayar. You're here to join Fairy Tale? Naruto nodded, hopping up onto a barstool. Makarov raised his voice. Everyone, listen up. The chaos died instantly. Even Natsu and Gray paused mid-fight. We have a new member joining us. His name is… Makarov glanced at Naruto. Naruto stepped forward and introduced himself with calm confidence. I'm Naruto Hakuto, though some of you may know me as the White Wandering Mage. Let's get along. The hall erupted in murmurs of disbelief. Many had heard the tales of the cloaked mage in white who never failed a mission, who turned down every guild and even the king himself. Dark guilds that had tried to force him in had been left shattered, their members beaten senseless. Makarov's grin stretched ear to ear. Recruiting Naruto was a victory in itself. What are you all waiting for? Celebrate our NEWESD family member. The guild cheered, and Naruto chuckled beneath his mask as the fairy tale emblem was stamped on his right shoulder in white. Time skip equals. So, Naruto, what kind of magic do you use? A brown-haired girl with violet eyes asked curiously. She wore a simple orange dress and introduced herself as Kana Alberona, the first to greet him. Naruto's eyes curved in a smile. I know quite a few. Want a demonstration? Kana nodded eagerly. Together, they approached Makarov, who was enjoying the festivities. What is it, Naruto? The master asked. Kana-chan wants to see one of my spells. May I use it on you? I promise it won't hurt. Makarov, curious, agreed. He raised his voice. Everyone gather round. Naruto is going to show us his magic. The crowd closed in, buzzing with anticipation. Naruto clapped his hands as a glowing circle formed beneath Makarov. White magic. Age reversal. Gasps rang out as Makarov's body glowed and visibly grew younger. His hair turned golden again, his mustache vanished, and his voice shifted. When the glow faded, he stood in his 40s. Eyes wide, Makarov took a mirror and stared in shock. Naruto, what did you just do to me? I reversed your age, Naruto explained calmly. This is one of my spells. My magic is white magic. It can create, heal, and inspire hope. Another clap of his hands restored Makarov to his original form. The guild was stunned into silence until Natsu broke it. That was awesome, he yelled, pumping his fists. The guild erupted with cheers and compliments. Amazing! I've never seen anything like it. This kid's going to be a hero someday. Naruto smiled beneath his mask, enjoying their reactions. Makarov approached, resting a hand on Naruto's shoulder. Incredible! Magic that restores life and hope that is truly a gift. Guard it well, Naruto. Many will covet such power. Naruto's smile widened beneath his mask. Relax, master. I won't be relying on my white magic all the time. Besides, I'm not interested in letting those council dogs order me around, Naruto said firmly. He already knew enough about the Magic Council, and his distaste for them was obvious. To him, they were nothing more than power-hungry parasites, always scheming and desperate for control. Makarov only nodded in silent understanding, aware of what chaos the council would unleash if they discovered the true nature of Naruto's magic. Pretty impressive, huh, Kana-chan? Naruto teased, turning his masked face toward the brunette, who was still wide-eyed from what she had just witnessed. All she could manage was a slow nod, though curiosity quickly won over. Naruto, what else can your white magic actually do? Kana asked carefully. Before Naruto could even open his mouth, a loud war cry cut through the air. He turned just in time to see Natsu charging straight at him. Fight me, Naruto, Natsu roared, flames bursting from his fists. Naruto smirked beneath his mask, his own right hand curling into a fist before igniting in flames as well. Without hesitation, he sprinted forward, their fists colliding in a fiery clash. Natsu's eyes widened in disbelief as the impact forced him to leap backward. Naruto mirrored the move, creating distance. You're a dragon slayer? Natsu asked in shock. Naruto gave a small nod. But not just any dragon slayer, he replied as the fire around his hand shifted seamlessly into ice. Gasps echoed throughout the guild, Natsu's among the loudest. I'm a dragon god slayer. That means I've mastered every element a dragon slayer could ever dream of. Whispers filled the guild hall as realization sank in Naruto might just become the strongest fairy tale mage in the future. Natsu, however, only grinned wider. That's awesome, so who was your dragon? Do you know Igneal? My teacher was Ryu, the very first dragon to exist, a dragon god, Naruto explained. And no, I've never heard of anyone named Igneal. Sorry about that. By the way, I never caught your name. I'm Natsu Dragneel, and as a fellow dragon slayer, I challenge you to a fight. Natsu yelled with burning determination, leaving the rest of the guild sighing at his persistence. Naruto eyed him for a few moments before calmly shaking his head. Sorry, but I'm going to have to decline. Natsu pouted instantly. What? Why not? Because I can tell you haven't finished your training, Naruto answered. Natsu froze. How could you possibly know that? My dragon taught me how to recognize whether another slayer has completed their training. And you, Natsu, haven't. Tell me, do you even know how to unlock Dragon Force? Naruto asked, his voice serious. The guild leaned in at that, eager for the answer. Natsu lowered his gaze, shame written on his face. Seeing the disappointment in him, Naruto softened. Tell you what, Natsu, since I've already completed my training, I'll help you finish yours. I'll even teach you some of the Fire Dragon Slayer's secret arts. But in return, you have to promise me this. Use your power to protect your friends, and don't complain about how tough my training gets. Deal? In an instant, Natsu's mood flipped. Beaming with joy, he lunged forward and hugged Naruto so tightly it was almost suffocating. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Naruto chuckled behind his mask, ruffling Natsu's hair like an older brother would. Once Natsu let go, Naruto told him they would start tomorrow. Natsu nodded excitedly before immediately diving back into another scuffle with Gray, leaving Naruto to sweat drop. That was kind of you, Naruto-san, a new voice spoke. Naruto turned to see a girl with scarlet hair and brown eyes, clad in armor, a long skirt and a sword strapped to her waist. And you are? Naruto asked politely. Urza. Urza Scarlet, she replied, extending her hand. Naruto's eyes crinkled into a smile as he shook it. Nice to meet you, Urza-chan. The faint blush on her cheeks was quick, almost unnoticeable, but it was there. Before anything more could be said, the guild doors burst open. 3 figures entered. At the center was a girl with long white hair tied in a ponytail and striking blue eyes. Dressed in a black tank top, short shorts, thigh-high socks, and heavy boots, she was unmistakable Murrajane Strauss. To her side was a younger boy with short, spiky white hair and a neat blue suit topped with a red bow tie. Elfman Strauss. And next to him, a petite girl with short white hair, dressed in a simple pink dress, Lysana Strauss, the youngest sibling. We're back, Murrajane called cheerfully as the 3 stepped inside. Her eyes quickly fell on Naruto, curiosity flaring. And who might you be, a newbie? She asked with a playful but cocky edge. Naruto raised a brow. Naruto Hakuto, joined today. Murrajane smirked. You don't look like much. Why bother joining? This guild isn't for the weak, you could get hurt. Myra, that's enough. He's new, don't bully him, Urza snapped, glaring at her rival. Don't tell me what to do, redhead, Murrajane shot back. Urza's temper flared, but before she could speak, Naruto lifted his hand calmly. Relax, Urza-chan. No need to waste your breath on goth girl over there, he said casually. Urza stifled a laugh, while Myra's glare turned venomous. You're dead, newbie, Murrajane growled, kicking at him with sudden force. Naruto slipped under it with ease, creating distance. Easy there, Mira-chan, he said lightly, making her angrier with the suffix. Satan's soul, she roared, activating her demonic form in a burst of magic. Gasps filled the guild as she lunged at Naruto, fist cocked. Look out, Naruto, Natsu yelled, but Naruto stood still, calm as ever. Pow, the guild went silent, jaws dropping. Naruto had stopped Myra's devastating punch with a single finger. Her eyes widened in disbelief. How? Naruto smirked beneath his mask, seizing her wrist and pulling her closer. He leaned in and whispered coldly, You're too early to challenge me, Murrajane. With a flick of his finger to her forehead, he sent her flying into the wall. Dust filled the guild as silence followed. He stopped her attack with just one finger, Gray muttered, stunned. And flicked her like she was nothing, Kana added, equally shaken. Even Makarov's sharp eyes narrowed, impressed by the boy's strength. Murajane pulled herself free from the rubble, glaring furiously. I challenge you to a real fight, Hakuto, Naruto sighed. Are you sure? You'll just get hurt. Her eyes told him there was no room for refusal. Fine, Naruto agreed at last. But we're taking this outside. I don't plan on destroying the guild I just joined. Everyone rushed out to watch. Outside equals. You certain about this? Naruto asked, his voice steady. I'm sure I'll crush you, Myra shouted, still in her Satan soul form. Naruto sighed, removing his cloak. His true attire gleamed, a sleeveless white shirt with golden trim, matching pants, black boots, and white gauntlets. A sword rested across his back. He pulled away his mask and bandana, revealing his face. The girls in the guild instantly blushed, even Murajane faltered for a moment. Wow, Naruto-kun is so handsome, Kana squealed. Yeah, he really is, Lysana admitted softly, cheeks pink. Hey, is he part cat? Happy tilted his head. What do you mean happy? Natsu asked. Look, whisker marks, the blue cat pointed out. You're right. Man, I can't wait for him to train me tomorrow, Natsu grinned. Natsu, Naruto called, drawing his attention. Watch this fight carefully. Got it, Natsu replied with excitement. Makarov raised his hand. Are both fighters ready? Both nodded. Begin! With a roar, Murajane charged forward, her demonic fist ready. Naruto's hands ignited with flames as the battle began. Rahhhh! Fire Dragon Iron Fist! Their fists collided, the sheer force rippling through the air as a shockwave tore across the guild. Both refused to back down, striking with relentless intensity. All anyone inside Fairy Tail could do was watch in stunned silence. Naruto and Murajane are clashing evenly, Gray muttered, eyes wide. They just keep pounding away like neither of them is going to stop, Kana added, impressed. But Urza folded her arms, gaze sharp. You're wrong, they aren't evenly matched. The younger members turned to her, confused. What do you mean, Urza? Natsu asked, frowning. Look closely at Naruto's expression, she replied. Everyone did and froze. Why does he look bored? Natsu asked out loud. Because he's not fighting seriously, Makarov answered, stepping into the conversation. Elfman shook his head in disbelief. But master, he looks like he's giving it his all against Myra. How could he be holding back? Makarov closed his eyes, sensing the magic output. Naruto's only using a fraction of his strength. If I had to guess, perhaps 10%. Gasps echoed through the guild hall. None of them had ever realized just how much power Naruto had in reserve, yet here he was, trading blows with Murajane's Satan soul as though it were nothing. With Naruto and Mira equals, that all you've got? Myra taunted, weaving past a right hook. Naruto smirked. Not even close. To be honest, Myra, I'm barely trying. Her eyes widened, then narrowed with fury. Don't you dare mock me, she shrieked, charging in again. Ice Dragon's roar, Naruto bellowed, expelling a torrent of freezing air and frost from his mouth. Myra was instantly encased in ice, frozen in place. The guild erupted in shock. He can use ice, Gray exclaimed. I thought he was a fire dragon slayer, Kana added. Makarov's brows furrowed, turning toward Natsu. Natsu, remind me, what was the name of Naruto's dragon teacher? I think it was Ryu, Natsu replied. Naruto said he was a dragon god. That's all I know. The guild master's eyes narrowed thoughtfully, but he held his questions back for later. On the battlefield, Naruto didn't pause. Light Dragon's roar, he shouted, firing a searing white beam from his mouth. Murajane burst free from the ice just in time, wings snapping open as she launched into the air. From above, she glared down at Naruto, power gathering in her palm. Soul extinction, she cried, unleashing a swirling black-purple blast straight toward him. Naruto didn't move. He's done for, Gray muttered. Yeah, no way he can take that head-on, Kana agreed. Naruto move, Natsu shouted desperately, but the blonde only smirked at him. Watch closely, Natsu. This is something I'll teach you one day. Flames erupted across his body, forming the fiery image of a dragon. Natsu swore he saw Ignil's silhouette flicker behind him. Dragon Slayer secret art, Naruto's voice rumbled as he swung his arms in a wide arc. Crimson Lotus. Exploding flame blade. A devastating torrent of fire erupted, colliding with Myra's beam. The guild held its breath as the two forces clashed violently. but Naruto's attack consumed hers, surging onward. What? Myra gasped as her strongest attack was swept away. She barely had time to react before the flames overwhelmed her. Her Satan's soul flickered out, and she plummeted toward the ground. Naruto shot upward with flight magic, catching her gently before she could crash. He looked down at the unconscious Myra, then back at Makarov. "Well, master, are you going to call it?" Makarov blinked, snapping out of his shock. "Winner Naruto Hakuto." The guild erupted into cheers, Natsu the loudest of all. "Naruto, that was amazing. You have to teach me that." Naruto chuckled, setting Myra down carefully. "Patience, Natsu. First you've got to master the basics, then I'll show you advanced techniques like that." "Awa, come on," Natsu whined, but his grin showed he wasn't truly upset. The guild buzzed with excitement as word spread. Many whispered that Naruto might already be the strongest mage in Fairy Tail, or one day surpass even Laxus. Makarov, however, had his own thoughts. "No, if my instincts are right, this boy's potential could rival even Gildart's." Later that day after securing an apartment in Magnolia, Naruto strolled through town, stomach grumbling. "Naruto." He turned and spotted Murajane, still wrapped in bandages, glaring at him fiercely. "You shouldn't even be out of bed," he said, hurrying over. Before she could protest, his hand glowed softly as he began healing her wounds. Myra flushed. What do you think you're doing?" "Helping you," he replied simply. "And no, I'm not giving you a rematch right now." "But I demand it," she snapped, even as the pain faded under his touch. Naruto ignored her, finishing the healing. "There, you'll recover faster now. Train harder if you really want another shot at me." Her temper spiked, dark energy flaring. But in an instant, Naruto appeared behind her and tapped a pressure point, making her collapse unconscious. He sighed, lifting her onto his back. "Guess dinner will have to wait. Maybe the guild has something decent to eat." 7 months later 7 months passed since Naruto officially joined Fairy Tail, and the guild's fame had only grown. Rumors of the White Wanderer spread across Fior, and requests flooded in. Even the king himself had personally requested Naruto for missions, and every single one had been completed flawlessly. Fairy Tail was stronger than ever, and much of it was thanks to Naruto Hakuto. Naruto's reputation in Fior had quickly grown. Once known as the White Wandering Mage, he now carried the official title of White Mage of Fairy Tail. Alongside it, he earned another name, the Rune Master. This wasn't because of traditional rune mastery, but because of his unmatched skill with Fuinjutsu. To him, deciphering, rearranging, or modifying runes was nothing more than child's play compared to the complex art of seals. In truth, his brilliance with seals made runes seem almost trivial, and before long, scholars and mages alike began to acknowledge him for it. Naruto had even abandoned his attempts to crack Minato's notes on the Hiraishin no Jutsu. At first, he had been determined, but eventually, he realized he didn't need it at all. Thanks to his heavenly body magic, his speed already surpassed what that technique could offer. Aside from his own growth, Naruto also took on the role of mentor. He personally trained Natsu, guiding him through the finishing steps of his Dragon Slayer training. Naruto pushed him hard, introducing him first to the foundations of Fire Dragon Slayer magic before allowing him to move to higher-level techniques. To strengthen Natsu's body, Naruto had him wear weighted cuffs, 150 pounds each on his wrists and ankles. The results were clear. Natsu grew stronger, and for the first time, began consistently beating Gray in their sparring matches. This didn't sit well with the Ice Mage, who quickly swallowed his pride and asked Naruto for training too. Naruto agreed, and before long, the two rivals were back to even footing, often ending their duels in a draw. For both of them, Naruto had become like an older brother. Naruto's strength also attracted challenges from others. Myra often tested herself against him, only to lose every time. Occasionally, even Urza stepped forward, but Naruto always defeated her with ease. Still, he didn't just overpower her, he began to teach her. He noticed that while Urza had talent, her sword swings were wild, leaving her full of openings. Naruto taught her discipline in combat, refining her requip style and blade technique. The Magic Council, on the other hand, constantly tried to summon him. Every time, Naruto either declined or flat-out ignored them, which only enraged them further. When one messenger dared to ask why, Naruto gave a blunt response. Because I can't stand people like them. They're nothing but greedy fools who care more about property damage than human lives. They can shove their titles where the sun doesn't shine. The council's anger only grew, but thanks to the immunity granted to him directly by the king as a reward, Naruto remained untouchable. No matter what they tried, they couldn't force him to obey their calls. Not long after, Naruto shocked everyone by receiving a field promotion to S-Class Mage. He had only been with Fairy Tail for a few months, but his results spoke for themselves. This caused outrage from Laxus, grandson of Master Makarov, who loudly declared that Naruto wasn't worthy of the rank. Naruto didn't waste words. He simply challenged Laxus to a fight. Laxus accepted without hesitation and regretted it within minutes. Naruto utterly crushed him, beating him down for 5 long minutes before finally knocking him unconscious. From that day forward, no one in the guild dared to test Naruto's temper. The brutal display even earned him yet another title, the Demon King of Fairy Tail, a name whispered with both fear and respect because of how mercilessly he crushed his opponents when angered. One day, Naruto stood before the request board on the upper floor of the guild. His eyes caught on a job listing, a mission involving an extremely rare gem hidden within ancient ruins. The reward was a staggering 6,200,000 jewels and an unknown lacrima, something that immediately piqued his curiosity. Without hesitation, he grabbed the paper and headed downstairs. Naruto, Natsu yelled, bounding toward him with his usual enthusiasm. What mission are you taking? Before Naruto could answer, Myra's voice rang out. Naruto, fight me! Naruto turned calmly to see Myra glaring at him from a few meters away. No, he replied flatly, returning his focus to Natsu. Wrong answer, Myra shouted, leaping at him with her fist drawn back. Naruto effortlessly caught her strike midair and slammed her into the ground. Kneeling beside her, he smiled warmly. Damn, why you? Myra stuttered through clenched teeth. Naruto patted her head gently, which only fueled her anger further. Just rest, Miura-chan. He pressed a pressure point on her neck, knocking her out instantly before walking over to Makarov. Master, I'll be taking this mission, Naruto said, handing him the paper. Hey, can I come too? Natsu asked eagerly. Ever since Naruto had become S-Class, he had taken on missions that normally required weeks, completing them in mere hours or days. On occasion, he had brought Natsu and others along so they could experience firsthand what S-Class missions were like. Since then, Natsu always begged to join him. Me too, Naruto, Gray shouted, approaching in nothing but his boxers. No way, stripper, Natsu barked. I wasn't talking to you, fire breath, Gray shot back, and soon the two were brawling as usual. Both Makarov and Naruto sighed, used to the chaos. At that moment, Lisanna approached. What's going on, Naruto? She asked curiously. I found a mission involving a rare gem hidden in abandoned ruins, Naruto explained. Can I come too? Lisanna asked suddenly. Everyone froze, even Myra, who woke instantly at her sister's words. Lisanna had never asked to join Naruto on one of his missions before. Are you sure, Lisanna? These places are full of traps. It could be dangerous, Naruto said, studying her face. I want to try. I want to see what an S-Class mission is like, Lisanna replied brightly. Absolutely not, Myra interrupted, furious. But Mirani, Lisanna pleaded, giving her best puppy eyes. I said no, Myra snapped. Naruto placed a hand on Lisanna's shoulder, calming her. Lisanna, there's a reason these missions are classified as S-Class. They're dangerous enough to cripple or kill. That's why I've only taken Natsu and the others a few times, to show them the reality of what this rank means. I'm sorry, but I can't let you join this one. Lisanna pouted, but Naruto looked directly into her eyes, peering into her memories. After a moment he sighed. Master, I've changed my mind. I won't be taking this mission after all. Everyone turned in shock. And why not? Makarov asked. Naruto smirked beneath his mask. Because Lisanna didn't want to join for the mission. She just wanted to spend more time with me. Both Myra and Lisanna froze in surprise. Myra turned to her sister, who was blushing furiously, poking her fingers together nervously. Lisanna, is that true? Myra asked in disbelief. Lisanna stammered, unable to form words. Naruto smiled gently. Lysana, if you want, we can take a simple mission together and talk. How about it? Lysana nodded quickly, relief flooding her features. Time skip on the train to their mission, Naruto glanced at Myra and sighed. So, why exactly are you here again, Mira-chan? Because I don't trust you with my little sister, Myra replied coldly, arms crossed. Naruto chuckled nervously, while Lysana quietly stared out the window. Lysana, he said softly, drawing her attention, what is it you want to know about me? I want to know who you are and your story, Lysana said seriously. Myra perked up as well, equally curious. Naruto was taken aback. Are you sure you want to hear it? Lysana nodded. With a heavy sigh, Naruto turned to the window. Well, it all started when I was 7. Or maybe I should say, it started when I was born. The two sisters exchanged confused looks. In my village, I was the son of the leader. You'd think that meant I lived a blessed life. But the truth, I didn't. I was ignored by my family and by the entire village. Both girls stared wide-eyed. You were ignored, but you were the leader's son, Lysana exclaimed. Shouldn't they have treated you like royalty? Naruto gave her a sad smile. I had a twin sister, and to them she was everything. She was cherished, praised, while I was left in the shadows, forgotten. Silence fell over the train cabin. For 7 years I lived like that, neglected, shunned. Imagine it if you were in my place, how would you feel? Neither Lysana nor Myra could answer. The thought alone hurt. One day, I thought I could finally earn my parents' recognition. I took a scroll from the family library and trained endlessly, mastering a technique my sister couldn't. I worked until my body nearly gave out. And when I showed them, Naruto paused, his voice low. Do you know what happened next? They praised you, Lysana asked carefully, hoping she'd guessed right. Naruto shook his head slowly. No, they slapped me. Told me I was nothing but trash, an idiot. Both girls froze at his words, shock flickering across their faces. Their hearts ached for him, though neither knew what to say. After that, I couldn't stay there anymore. I left home, wandered across the world on my own. I learned how to survive, how to fight, how to grow stronger without needing anyone. I kept traveling, never stopping, until I finally chose to join Fairy Tail. A genuine smile tugged at his lips. And honestly, joining Fairy Tail, that's the best thing that's ever happened to me. Lysana's eyes softened at his words, and a small but warm smile formed on Myra's face. Hearing his story, she silently promised herself to treat him better from now on. He truly hadn't been lying. We'll be arriving in real town in 10 minutes. Please remain seated and keep your belongings with you. The announcer's voice echoed through the train. Naruto glanced at the two girls. Guess we'd better get ready, he said with a light grin before turning back to the scenery outside the window. Time skip, thank you for accepting this request, mages of Fairy Tail. Especially you, Hakuto, the mayor of Real Town said, bowing politely. He hadn't expected to meet the famous white mage of Fairy Tail in person. Naruto waved it off casually. Don't worry about it. I'm only here because my friend insisted. He reached over and ruffled Lysana's hair, earning a pout from her and an eye roll from Myra. So, what exactly is the problem, Mayor? Myra asked, crossing her arms. The mayor's expression grew heavy. Bandits, a large group, they've been stealing from our town for months now, but the worst part, they've kidnapped people, our own citizens. His voice cracked slightly. They're being used as slaves, and one of them is my daughter. Lysana's eyes welled up with sadness, while Naruto and Myra's expressions hardened. Both radiated quiet fury. Don't worry, sir, Lysana said firmly. We'll bring them all back. The mayor bowed deeply, handing them a marked map with possible hideout locations. As the trio walked away, they studied the paper. This is going to take forever, Myra groaned, dragging her feet. Naruto smirked under his mask. For you too, maybe, for me, 15 minutes tops. Myra narrowed her eyes. Oh, really? And what brilliant plan do you have, Mr. S-Class Genius? Naruto formed a hand sign. Shadow Clone Jutsu. In a burst of smoke, 10 copies of Naruto appeared, standing tall beside him. Both Lysana and Myra's jaws dropped. Spread out, find the bandits' hideout. Once you locate it, disperse, Naruto ordered. Right, the clones chorused before scattering into the distance. Turning back to the stunned girls, Naruto raised a brow. What? Myra pointed at him furiously. Since when could you do that? Naruto shrugged. They're shadow clones. I use them for scouting and gathering information. When they vanish, their knowledge comes back to me, handy for learning new magic too. Lysana's eyes lit with amazement. Does anyone else know about this? Only Master Makarov. And Natsu, Gray, and Urza, they've seen me use it during training. Myra, however, wasn't convinced. She shot him a suspicious look but said nothing. Time skip, how long has it been? Myra whined, sitting cross-legged on the ground. 10 minutes, Mirani, Lysana replied, equally bored. Naruto sat in meditation, perfectly calm. Myra marched over and leaned close, her face inches from his. But before she could say anything, Naruto's eyes snapped open, startling her back. One of my clones found the hideout. Not far from here, he said. The three immediately set off. Time skip, so this is the place? Myra asked as they crouched behind cover. Naruto sweat dropped. Before them stood an abandoned warehouse, with a giant wooden sign above the entrance that literally read hideout. They're either trying to be funny or they're complete idiots, Naruto thought. Seriously, Lysana deadpanned. Both Naruto and Myra nodded in agreement. What's the plan? Lysana asked. Naruto and Myra exchanged glances, both smirked. Lysana groaned. You're not seriously just going to charge in, are you? They nodded. So much for stealth, Lysana sighed. Inside the hideout boss's room, so what's on today's agenda, boss? A bandit asked. Maybe sell a few slaves for good money, or, boom, the whole building shook. Screams echoed down the hall. Before they could react, the door slammed open, and several of them were blasted back by a golden beam of energy. Well, looks like we found the ringleader, Myra said as she and Naruto stepped inside. The bandit leader gawked. "K kids, what the hell?" Naruto unsheathed his katana calmly. "We're here for the mission. Return everything you stole and free the townspeople." "Over our dead bodies," a henchman shouted as the group charged. Naruto blurred forward. In a flash of steel, he reappeared behind them, slowly sliding his blade back into its sheath. Click. The men collapsed instantly, unconscious. The leader trembled as Naruto approached. Stay back," he shouted, swinging his sword wildly. Naruto dodged with ease, countering with a powerful roundhouse kick that slammed the man into the wall, knocking him out cold. Naruto sighed, only to find Myra glaring at him. "What? You promised I'd get to beat them up," Myra snapped. Naruto scratched his head sheepishly. "Whoops!" Before Myra could explode, Lysana rushed in. "Everyone's freed. The stolen goods are secured too." Naruto smiled. "Good job, Lysana. Let's tie these guys up and head back." "You're not off the hook," Myra muttered darkly. Naruto chuckled. "Catch me if you can, Mira-chan." "Naruto," she roared, chasing him around the room while Lysana sweat dropped. "Time skip, well, that mission was a breeze," Naruto said as the three walked back to Magnolia. The mayor had thanked them endlessly, the villagers were overjoyed, and somehow Naruto had ended up with his own fan club, something that annoyed him to no end. He'd refused his share of the reward, leaving it to Myra and Lysana. "I didn't realize you two worked so well together," Lysana said with a smile. Naruto laughed, Myra rolled her eyes. But then Naruto suddenly froze mid-step, staring into the forest near Magnolia. "What is it?" Lysana asked. He didn't answer. Myra snapped. "Oi, Blondie," Naruto blinked, breaking out of his trance. Sorry, guess I spaced out. You two go on ahead, I've got something to check out." Before they could argue, he darted into the woods, leaving Myra fuming. "Did he just ditch us?" she growled, her aura darkening. "Relax, Mirani. He said he had something to do. Let's just head back. We still have to report to Master," Lysana soothed. Myra grumbled but relented, and the sisters made their way to the guild. With Naruto deep in the forest, Naruto moved carefully, eyes sharp. "I know I saw something glowing and I can still feel its power," he muttered. He searched for several minutes, about to give up, when the light appeared again, brighter this time. Without hesitation, Naruto leapt toward it. "Gotcha!" Naruto yelled triumphantly as his hands closed around the strange, glowing light. He clenched his fists tight, determined not to let it slip away. "Ah, let me go," a voice cried out. Naruto blinked in confusion. This wasn't just some random light. The voice was clearly female. Surprised, he loosened his grip and slowly opened his hands. Floating before him was not a ball of light, but a tiny girl. She had flowing dark purple hair and striking eyes, half dark blue at the top, blending into pink and pale yellow at the bottom. Her attire was unlike anything Naruto had ever seen. A black, cream and pink dress paired with purple and cream-plated armor on her shoulders and waist. The back was open, revealing a corset-like top, while the skirt fell to her knees with a pink-to-white gradient. A butterfly-shaped clip tied her hair, and her gauntlets and boots matched her outfit's unique color scheme. Behind her sprouted a pair of delicate purple wings. The little girl quickly flew back, glaring at him with suspicion. "What was that about?" she demanded. Naruto scratched the back of his head, sheepishly smiling. "Sorry, I just saw this strange glowing light in the forest and could sense a huge power inside it. I got curious, that's all." Before he could say more, the girl's body lit up with a radiant glow, so bright that Naruto had to shield his eyes. When the brilliance faded, he lowered his arm and froze. The small girl was gone. In her place stood a young woman, now the same size as him, holding an enormous broadsword aimed directly at his chest. "You'd better not be lying to me," she warned, her glare sharp as steel. Naruto instantly raised his hands in surrender. "No way, I wasn't trying to hurt you. Honest, I was just curious." She studied him carefully for several tense moments. Finally, her eyes softened ever so slightly and she lowered the blade. Naruto sighed in relief. "Anyway," he said with a grin, trying to lighten the mood, "I'm Naruto Hakuto, mage of fairy tale, also known as the White Mage." The girl tilted her head, puzzled. "Mage, what's that supposed to mean?" Naruto nearly fell over. "Wait, you don't even know what a mage is?" When she shook her head, his expression grew serious. Using his mind-reading magic, he tried to peek into her memories, but found only blurs and fragments. Clearly, she knew nothing about herself. "Do you at least know who you are?" he asked gently. Her gaze dropped. "No, I don't know my name. I don't even know where I came from." Naruto felt a pang of sympathy at her sorrowful expression. Without thinking twice, he extended his hand to her. "Then why not come with me?" Her eyes widened. "Why?" Naruto removed his mask and bandana, revealing his bright grin. "Because you don't have anywhere to go. Come to Fairy Tale. There, you'll find friends, bonds, and family. You won't ever have to feel alone again. We'll protect you, laugh with you, and create memories worth keeping. So what do you say?" For a moment, she stared at him in shock, then her lips curved into a smile. "Yes, yes. Yes," she cried, leaping forward and hugging him so tightly it made him wince. Naruto laughed and hugged her back. After pulling away, he tapped his chin. "But first, we'll need a name for you. Since you can't remember yours, how about Toka?" "To-ka," she repeated softly. "Yeah, it suits you perfectly," Naruto said with a wide grin. Her smile widened and she nodded. "I like it." "Great. Then let's head back to the guild so everyone can meet you." Toka shrank back into her smaller form and perched on top of Naruto's head. With a laugh, he dashed back toward the guild, where Fairy Tail soon welcomed her as their newest member, with a massive party, of course. 1 year later, X780 a year passed since Naruto discovered Toka, and the two became inseparable. She learned to read, write, and even some math under Naruto's guidance, and had started calling him Nik-san, seeing him as her brother. Her cheerful, playful nature won over nearly everyone in Fairy Tail, except for Laxus and his group, who stayed distant because of her close bond with Naruto. But Toka didn't mind. She had plenty of friends who adored her. Naruto trained her in combat, quickly realizing that her natural swordsmanship far outmatched his own. Once she tapped into her true strength, her power rivaled that of a wizard saint. Determined to help her control it, Naruto guided her through months of training until she could finally contain her destructive potential. He was proud beyond words. The guild soon gave her a nickname, the Princess Warrior of Fairy Tale. Together, she and Naruto tackled S-class missions with ease, further boosting the guild's reputation. During that same year, Myra's attitude toward Naruto softened slightly. Though she still challenged him and teased him, she also showed hints of kindness after learning more about his past. Naruto didn't mind. He was simply glad their relationship was changing, even a little. Naruto also updated his look. He ditched his mask and bandana, finally showing off his face. His new outfit, a white coat bearing the Fairy Tale symbol, white gloves, a black shirt, black pants, and sturdy boots, gave him a sharp, confident appearance. That year, he also met Gildarts Clive, Fairy Tale's ace. Unlike Laxus, Gildarts was humble and laid back, always seen sharing drinks with Master Makarov. Naruto admired him instantly, but he couldn't ignore how Kana always seemed sad whenever Gildarts was around. Curious, he used his magic to glimpse her memories, and what he discovered shocked him. Kana was Gildart's daughter. Flashback: Naruto asked Kana to meet him at the back of the guild. Though Toka wanted to tag along, Naruto convinced her to let them talk privately. "What's this about, Naruto-kun?" Kana asked, puzzled. Naruto exhaled slowly. "Kana-chan, please answer me honestly. Is Gildart's your father?" Her eyes widened in panic. What are you talking about? Of course not. I've noticed the way you look at him," Naruto explained gently. "Like you want to say something important, but can't bring yourself to. There's sadness in your eyes every time." Kana lowered her gaze, her bangs shadowing her expression. "So, you figured it out, huh?" Naruto placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "Do you want to talk about it?" After a pause, Kana nodded. She told him everything: how her mother, Cornelia, had passed away when she was young, how she trained to become S-class just so she'd have the courage to reveal the truth to Gildarts. Listening to her story, Naruto's heart ached. He didn't blame Gildarts. The man had no idea. But he knew deep down that Gildarts would embrace Kana if he ever learned the truth. When Kana finished, Naruto quietly said, "Kana, can you take me to your mother's grave?" She blinked in surprise. "Why? Just trust me." Though hesitant, she agreed. Together, they made their way to Cornelia's resting place. "Time skip Cornelia's grave. We're here," Kana whispered, standing before the gravestone. Naruto studied the name etched into the stone, then turned to her with a small, reassuring smile. "Kana, would you like to speak to your mother again?" Her eyes widened in disbelief. "Why, you can really do that?" Naruto simply clasped his hands together, his voice steady. "Hear me, spirits. Let the light guide this path. Answer my call, and let her voice reach us once more." A magic circle formed on the ground, glowing brightly as Naruto pressed his hand against it, releasing his power. "White magic! Soul summon!" Naruto's voice rang out as he thrust his hand forward. A brilliant column of light descended from the heavens, striking the glowing circle carved into the grave. The radiance enveloped the area, and when it finally faded, Kana's eyes widened in disbelief. Tears immediately began streaming down her face. Standing before her was Cornelia, her mother. She looked like an older, graceful version of Kana, dressed in a flowing white gown that shimmered under the lingering light. "Ka-chan, is that really you?" Kana stammered, her voice breaking as she stepped forward with trembling steps. Cornelia smiled warmly, nodding. "Yes, it's me, Kana-chan." That was all it took. Kana ran to her and leapt into her arms, sobbing into her shoulder, but not from grief. These were tears of pure happiness. Cornelia wrapped her arms around her daughter tightly, her own tears of joy spilling freely. Watching them, Naruto couldn't help but smile at the heartfelt reunion. When they finally broke apart, Naruto walked closer. Cornelia glanced at him and asked gently, You were the one who brought me here, weren't you?" "Yes," Naruto replied respectfully. "I'm Naruto Hakuto, a friend of Kana's. I'm also known as the White Mage of Fairy Tale. It's an honor to meet you, ma'am." Cornelia's smile widened. "Such a polite young man. Tell me, are you Kana's boyfriend?" Kana's face instantly turned crimson. "Kachan!" She yelled in embarrassment while Naruto chuckled awkwardly. "Well," Naruto scratched the back of his head, "I am a boy and her friend, so I guess that kind of makes me her boyfriend." Both women's sweat dropped at his clueless answer. He quickly shifted the topic. "There's something important I should tell you both. The summoning magic won't last forever. You only have about 3 hours together before Cornelia returns to the spirit realm." Kana nodded quickly, cherishing every second. Cornelia simply smiled with gentle acceptance. "Well then, I'll leave you two alone," Naruto said softly. "Make the most of it. I'll see you back at the guild, Kana-chan." With that, he walked away, giving them the precious time they deserved. Flashback end afterward, Kana thanked Naruto profusely. He only shrugged, telling her he was just helping out a friend. Still, from that day on, Kana seemed to spend more time around him, often joining him and Toka on missions. Naruto noticed her occasional attempts at flirting, though at first he was just confused. Having never been taught about romance, he went to Makarov for advice. The guildmaster laughed so hard at Naruto's innocent questions that he nearly fell over, but eventually gave him guidance, real advice, not just his usual perverted antics. Naruto gradually began to realize Kana might truly like him. Even so, he wasn't ready for a relationship yet. Makarov had warned him how complicated they could be, so he chose to play it off, acting oblivious much like Natsu did whenever girls showed interest. One day, Naruto sat on the first floor of the guild hall, scanning the job board out of boredom while Toka chatted with Levi and her team. After several minutes, a request caught his eye. A-class request. From the King of Fior, my daughter Hisui has grown distant and withdrawn these past few months. I am desperate. Please, if someone can bring joy back into her life, I beg for your help. Reward. 1,000,000 jewels. Well, this looks interesting, Naruto muttered, pulling the request down. Just then, Myra approached him. Hey Naruto, what mission are you picking up this time? She asked, smiling. Naruto handed her the paper. Myra scanned it, and after a moment, burst out laughing loud enough to catch the whole guild's attention. What's so funny, Mira-chan? Naruto asked, tilting his head. Do you even know what you're getting into? Myra grinned. Tons of people have tried this mission and failed. They say the princess is as cold as ice. Naruto just shrugged casually. Guess that's why I'll succeed. After all, I'm unpredictable. Everyone in the guild chuckled in agreement. Naruto always managed the impossible. Myra rolled her eyes. Don't say I didn't warn you. Naruto brought the request to Makarov, who approved it with a nod. Come on, Toka-chan, let's go. Time skip. Naruto and Toka arrived in Crocus, the capital of Fior. The sprawling city stretched outward in a perfect circle, towering walls protecting its edges. At its center stood Mercurius, the grand castle of the royal family. Wow, that's huge, Toka gasped, her eyes sparkling with excitement. It was her first time here, and her joy made Naruto chuckle. It's been a year since I last came, he admitted. Hey, Nick-san, what does the princess look like? Toka asked curiously. Naruto blinked. Now that you mention it, I've never actually seen her. Something told him this mission would be anything but ordinary. At the castle gates, a knight immediately recognized him. The man bore sharp features, a scar above his brow, and a proud beard under his silver helm. Lord Naruto, what brings you here? The knight, Arcadios, asked. Naruto handed him the request. I came to accept this mission. Arcadios's eyes widened. I never expected you to take this on. And who's this? He asked, noticing Toka perched on Naruto's shoulder. I'm Toka, nice to meet you, she said cheerfully. Naruto smiled. She's my partner and little sister, known in the guild as the Princess Warrior of Fairy Tale. Don't underestimate her size, she's tougher than she looks. Arcadios stared in disbelief, recalling stories about the Princess Warrior. But seeing Naruto's confidence, he chose not to doubt. The three entered the castle, heading toward the royal chambers. Along the way, Naruto asked, So, Arcadios-san, what can you tell me about the princess? Her Highness Hisui used to be cheerful and kind, Arcadios explained. But ever since her mother's passing, she's become withdrawn. She avoids others and rarely leaves her chambers. The king hopes someone can bring back her smile, but so far, no one has succeeded. Naruto smirked. Then I'll be the first. Like I said, I'm unpredictable. Arcadios couldn't help but agree. If anyone could pull off the impossible, it was Naruto. They entered the throne room. Arcadios bowed deeply before the king, and Naruto quickly followed suit. The king's eyes lit up in surprise. Naruto-san, you're the one who accepted this request, he said warmly. Yes, Naruto replied with confidence, and I brought a friend. Toka stepped forward politely. It's an honor to meet you, King-sama. My name is Toka. She bowed slightly, just as Naruto had taught her. The king chuckled kindly. What a delightful girl, I am Toma-e. Fior, after the introductions, Naruto asked, Toma-sama, where is your daughter? The king sighed heavily. She hasn't left her room in months. I've tried everything, but nothing has worked. I've hired countless mages, yet all of them failed. Naruto grinned, his determination unshaken. Don't worry, I'll succeed. After all, I've never failed a mission before. The king chuckled softly. Deep down, he had hope again, because if anyone could bring light back to Hisui's life, it was Naruto. Very well, Naruto-san. I trust you can help bring back the smile my daughter has lost, Toma said with a weary but hopeful tone. Naruto nodded firmly in response. Soon after, Arcadios guided him and Toka down the corridors toward Princess Hisui's chambers. Within moments, they stood before the ornate door. Arcadios knocked politely and announced, Hisui-sama, you have visitors. If they're just more magicians father hired, tell them to leave. They're wasting their time, came Hisui's voice through the door. Naruto's sharp ears immediately picked up the sorrow hidden in her tone. It was the sound of someone deeply broken. Arcadios sighed heavily, glancing apologetically at Naruto and Toka. Please forgive her coldness, Naruto-san, Toka-san. Naruto shook his head lightly. Don't worry, Arcadios-san. But I'd like you to leave us alone for now. Arcadios raised a brow in surprise, but seeing Naruto's resolve, he complied, stepping back and leaving them at the door. Toka floated closer to Naruto, curiosity written all over her face. What's the plan, Nig-san? She asked, tilting her head. Naruto's lips curved into a mischievous smile. We're sneaking in. Toka blinked, puzzled. But how? Naruto simply snapped his fingers, conjuring a glowing magic circle beneath him. In an instant, Toka's eyes widened as she saw his soul gently lift from his body. His physical form collapsed, but she caught it quickly, shifting into her battle form to handle his weight. Gently resting him against the wall, she looked up at his spirit form floating above. Nig-san, what happened? She whispered in awe. Naruto smiled warmly at her. It's just a spell. I can separate my soul from my body for a short time. Guard my body for me, Toka-chan. I'll slip inside unnoticed. Toka nodded firmly, and Naruto's spirit passed through the door like mist. Inside the chamber, Naruto took in his surroundings with mild surprise. The room was filled with toys, shelves stacked with books, and a grand bed in the center. Paintings adorned the walls, one of which caught his attention, a portrait of Toma, Hisui, and a beautiful woman with soft green hair, gentle green eyes, and a flowing white dress. The resemblance between the woman and Hisui was striking. She was undoubtedly Hisui's mother. The smile in the painting contrasted painfully with the reality before him. At a desk, Hisui sat slumped, clutching a framed picture of her mother, silent tears streaming down her face. Why did you leave me, Ka-chan? Why? She murmured brokenly. Naruto's chest tightened at her words. Suddenly, a faint voice echoed. I'm so sorry, Hisui-chan, forgive me for leaving you. Naruto turned sharply and saw the spirit of Hisui's mother standing there, sorrow in her eyes. Excuse me, Naruto spoke softly. The woman gasped at his presence. Oh my, who are you, young one? Naruto bowed respectfully. I am Naruto Hakuto, you must be Hisui-sama's mother. The spirit nodded gently. Yes, I am Lily E. Fior, once wife of Toma. Naruto's eyes softened, drifting back to Hisui, who had cried herself into an exhausted sleep. She misses you terribly, Lily-sama. Lily's expression grew pained. And it's my fault I left her in this state. How did you pass? Naruto asked carefully. An illness no healer could cure. Toma tried everything, but in the end I was taken from them. Her gaze lingered sorrowfully on her daughter. After a long silence, Naruto drew a deep breath. Lily-sama, would you like another chance at life? Her eyes widened. What do you mean? I have the power to bring you back, Naruto said plainly. To give you another chance to stand beside your family again, but the choice is yours. Lily trembled, disbelief in her eyes before she dropped to her knees, hands clasped desperately. Please, Naruto-sen, let me return. I want to be with them again. Naruto gave a small smile. Then I'll grant you that chance. For the love you hold, you deserve it. Tears of joy spilled down Lily's cheeks as she embraced him tightly. Thank you so much, Naruto-san. He sighed softly but a louder hug, then slowly stepped back before leaving the room. With Toka I'm so bored. Toka groaned dramatically. 10 minutes had passed since Naruto had slipped into spirit form, and she was stuck babysitting his body. Exploring the castle sounded fun, but she wouldn't disobey her brother's orders. Her sulking ended when Naruto stirred, his soul returning to his body. His eyes opened, and he stretched with a yawn. Nig-san, how did it go? She asked eagerly. It went well. She's asleep now, Naruto replied calmly. Come on, we need to head to the king's chamber. Why? Toka pouted, but Naruto just smirked. You'll see. Time skip in the royal chamber, Naruto and Toka stood alongside Toma, Arcadios, and several knights. Soon Hisui entered, her eyes lingering on Naruto with curiosity. I'm here, father. And who is this man? She asked. Naruto stepped forward politely. I am Naruto Hakuto, known as the White Mage of Fairy Tale. This is Toka, my partner and adopted sister. Hisui gave a slight nod before turning to her father. Why have we all gathered here? Naruto answered with a calm smile. I intend to give your daughter back her smile. But first, the guards must leave. The knights bristled. We are the king's protectors, we cannot leave. But Toma raised his hand, silencing them. Do as he says, I trust Naruto-san. Reluctantly, they obeyed, leaving only Toma, Hisui, Naruto, and Toka. Naruto immediately formed 3 clones and placed sealing tags around the chamber. Now no one can enter or overhear. Toka blinked. Why hide it, Nick-san? Because what I'm about to do isn't meant for everyone's eyes, Naruto replied. Her eyes widened in sudden realization. Why you're going to use that magic? Naruto nodded. Both Hisui and Toma looked puzzled. Trying to change the subject, Naruto turned to Hisui. Tell me, why have you been so distant to others? It's none of your concern, she snapped bitterly. Is it because of your mother? Naruto asked gently. Hisui flinched, her anger breaking. You don't know anything. Stay out of it. Toma's expression shifted as realization dawned. Hisui, you still haven't moved on, have you? Tears filled her eyes as she broke down. I can't, father, I miss her so much. Toma rushed to comfort her, holding her trembling form. Naruto and Toka exchanged solemn glances. Naruto finally spoke. Hisui-sama, I know something about your mother. She has been watching you ever since she passed. Both Hisui and Toma stared in shock. What do you mean? Toma whispered. I met her spirit, Naruto explained. She still lingers, filled with love for you both. Hisui's voice trembled. Keika-chan, are you really watching me? Naruto stepped forward, his body glowing with radiant white light as he extended his hand. I, bearer of white magic and guardian of life itself, call upon the soul of Lily E. Fior. Return to the living once more, white magic, soul revival. A brilliant magic circle flared before them, and their eyes widened as a figure began to materialize. Slowly, Lily's body formed within the light. When it faded, she lay upon the floor, breathing softly, alive once again. Toma and Hisui's eyes welled with tears as they rushed toward Lily's still form. Lily-chan, Toma cried, his voice breaking. Slowly, Lily's eyelids fluttered open, and her gaze fell on her husband and daughter kneeling beside her. Toma-kun, Hisui-chan, she whispered weakly. The sight alone sent fresh streams of tears rolling down their cheeks. Kachan, Hisui sobbed, throwing herself onto her mother and clinging tightly. Lily wrapped her arms around her daughter with trembling strength, and soon Toma joined them in a desperate, heartfelt embrace. Watching from nearby, Naruto and Toka shared a small smile. To Naruto, it was enough to see a family made whole again, to know Hisui's heart would finally be at peace. When the family's hugs slowly came to an end, they turned their attention to Naruto. How can I ever repay you, Naruto-san? Toma asked, leading his family forward. Naruto shook his head lightly. I only did what I felt was right. Hisui was drowning in grief after losing her mother. It was turning her into someone cold. If she can smile again, that's enough for me. You owe me nothing, Toma-sama. His words brought gentle smiles to their faces. Still, Naruto frowned slightly. The real problem now, how do we explain Lily-sama suddenly being alive again? Can't we just say you brought her back? Hisui asked hopefully, but Naruto immediately shook his head. That would only draw unwanted attention. The council already bothers me enough trying to recruit me. Thanks to Toma-sama's protection, I can ignore them, but if they find out I can revive the dead, they'll stop at nothing to control me. His tone was firm. Don't worry, Lily spoke gently. I'll think of something. I've always been good at spinning tailies. Her husband chuckled at her words. That's true. Lily-chan has a gift for creating believable stories. You won't need to worry, Naruto-san. Naruto gave a tired nod. Glad to hear it because I'm about to pass out. His legs gave way and he collapsed. The barriers fell away, and the last thing he heard before losing consciousness was the sound of worried voices calling his name. Time skip Naruto groaned softly as his eyes blinked open. A ceiling greeted his vision. Where am I? He muttered, slowly sitting up. The familiar furnishings around him revealed he was in Hisui's room. Nig-san, a tiny voice squealed. Toka in her smaller form appeared out of nowhere and tackled his cheek in a hug. Hey, Toka-chan, how long was I out? He asked, gently prying her off. 2 days. Everyone in the royal family has been so worried about you, she chirped. Just then, the door opened. Hisui stepped inside, only to freeze at the sight of him awake. Before Naruto could react, she rushed forward and threw her arms around him. Hisui-sama, Naruto stammered, cheeks heating from the sudden closeness. My, you've finally woken up, Naruto-san, Lily said warmly as she and Toma entered. Toma-sama, Lily-sama, Naruto blurted, startled. He quickly realized Hisui hadn't let go. She's been terribly worried about you, Toma explained with a knowing smile. She barely slept. Naruto blinked, surprised, then glanced at Hisui, whose tears betrayed her worry. His heart softened, and he offered gentle words to ease her. The king and queen, along with Toka, smiled quietly at the sight. Thanks to Naruto, their daughter had found happiness again. Time skip Naruto, with Toka perched on his shoulder, stood at the castle gates. Toma and his family were gathered before him. Lily had already briefed him on the cover story. She had been struck by an unknown curse disguised as illness, and Naruto's magic had freed her spirit from its chains. When the tale spread, the people of the capital hailed Naruto as the hero of Cronus, leaving the blonde more embarrassed than proud. Here's your reward, Naruto-san, Arcadios said, grinning as he handed over a heavy pouch. Naruto peeked inside, eyes widening. Toma-sama, this is far too much, he protested. Nonsense, Toma replied firmly. You restored joy to my daughter and broke the curse that bound my wife. We owe you far more than this. If you're ever in need, come to us. Yes, Naruto-san, Lily added with a smile. We will always be grateful. Naruto sighed, then accepted. All right, but please keep my abilities secret from the council. I'd rather avoid their constant hounding. Our lips are sealed, Toma assured him. Naruto gave a grateful nod, then turned to Hisui. She stepped forward hesitantly. Will we see each other again, Naruto? She asked softly. Naruto smiled, pulling a small bracelet from his pocket, a fairy tale emblem shining on it. He handed it to her. Even if we're far apart, this will remind you of me, and if you want to see me, you can always come to Fairy Tale. Hisui stared at the bracelet for a moment before slipping it on with a smile. Then promise you'll come back someday. I promise, Naruto replied. Suddenly, Hisui leaned forward and pressed a kiss to his cheek. Naruto froze, stunned, while everyone else stood in equal shock. After a moment, Hisui stepped back, blushing but smiling. Thank you for bringing back Kachan, Naruto. Naruto snapped out of his daze and nodded. Then, cloaked in golden light, he lifted into the sky. Until we meet again, Hisui-sama, Lily-sama, Toma-sama. With lightning speed, he vanished into the horizon. Lily placed a hand on her daughter's shoulder. Come, Hisui-chan, let's return. Hisui nodded, still smiling brightly. I think our daughter might have a crush, Lily whispered to Toma, who chuckled. If Naruto ever became her fiancé, the kingdom itself would rejoice, Toma admitted, earning a giggle from his wife. I doubt this will be the last time we see him, Arcadios commented, though the king and queen silently wondered if fate would ever cross their paths again. Time skip we're back, Naruto and Toka shouted as they pushed through Fairy Tale's guild doors. Immediately, the members swarmed him. Toka zipped away to safety, leaving Naruto mobbed. Naruto, you're back, Natsu cried, hugging him tightly. Haha, good to see you too, Natsu, Naruto laughed, ruffling his hair. Kana then ran up, shoving a newspaper into his hands. Look at this, she grinned. Naruto's eyes widened. The front page was plastered with his face, celebrating him as the hero of Cronus. The comments were overwhelmingly positive. I can't believe this. All I did was free the queen from a curse, he muttered, looking deflated. What's wrong, Naruto-kun? You don't seem thrilled, Urza asked, confused. Of course I'm not, Naruto whined, anime tears welling in his eyes. Now I'll be swarmed with fangirls. Goodbye, private life. He began slamming his forehead into the table, making everyone sweat drop. How much did you even earn? Gray asked, curious. Before Naruto could answer, Toka piped up cheerfully, 10 million jewels. She munched happily on sweets while the rest of the guild gawked. 10 million, everyone shouted. Yeah, Naruto admitted, but I gave 70% to Toka, so she's got 7 million, I kept 3. The guild erupted in chaos. Natsu suddenly shouted, Next time I'm going with Naruto, only to be punched across the room by Gray. No, I'm going with him, Gray argued, and soon the usual brawl began, mixed with celebration over Naruto and Toka's return. Next day morning, everyone, Naruto called as he and Toka walked in. Oi, Naruto, Makarov beckoned him over, sitting with Gildarts. Hey, Master, hey, Gildarts, Naruto greeted. Gildarts rose from his seat, a grin tugging at his lips. Naruto, I challenge you to a fight. The guild went silent, eyes wide. It was the first time Gildarts had ever issued a challenge. Naruto smirked confidently. I'm not finished yet, Gildarts. This time I'll fight at full power. For the first time, I'll use this ability in battle. His voice was steady as he closed his eyes, confusing Gildarts and the onlookers. What is he talking about? He can barely stand, Gray muttered, bewildered. Wait, look at the clone, Toka suddenly shouted. Everyone turned toward the shadow clone still sitting cross-legged, deep in meditation. The clone's eyes snapped open, now sharp with vertical slits. A second later, the clone vanished. What happened to it? Kana gasped. Look at Naruto, Levi pointed, and the crowd's attention shifted back to the blonde. His eyes had the same slit pupils as the clone. Gildarts, brace yourself, because I'm not holding back anymore, Naruto roared. His voice echoed as rainbow-colored flames erupted around him. The spectators' jaws dropped when his body began to shift. Scales emerged across his skin, shimmering under the radiant aura spiraling around him. The sheer magical energy pouring from Naruto dwarfed everything nearby, leaving Gildarts looking insignificant in comparison. This can't be real. Is Naruto truly this powerful? Gray whispered, shaken by the energy pressing against his chest. That's Dragon Force, Natsu exclaimed in awe. Naruto, he reached it. His strength is incredible. I'll catch up to him one day. Gildarts froze, his thoughts spinning. Is this boy even human? His power surpasses even the strongest wizard saints. This is beyond anything I imagined. Naruto's grin widened. Get ready, Gildarts, because from here on out, I'm giving it everything I have. With that, his figure blurred and disappeared, shocking everyone as he reappeared high above Gildarts in the blink of an eye. The veteran mage looked up in disbelief. Naruto stood in the air, a massive orb of rainbow energy forming in his hands. This ends now. Dragon Slayer secret art, cosmic style. Dragon God Bomb. Naruto's roar shook the arena as he hurled the sphere down. The orb shot toward Gildarts with overwhelming speed, giving him no time to defend. Boom. The explosion rocked the entire battlefield, sending shockwaves that forced the spectators back several steps. Even Magnolia's citizens noticed the colossal blast, recognizing instantly that it was the work of Fairy Tail. When the smoke cleared, Naruto stood tall, breathing steadily. At his feet, Gildarts lay unconscious, completely defeated. Makarov snapped out of his astonishment and declared, "Winner, Naruto Hakuto." Cheers erupted, and that day Naruto was celebrated as the newest ace of Fairy Tail. 2 years later, x 782 == it had been 2 years since Naruto earned his place as Fairy Tail's ace. His victory over Gildarts had spread like wildfire, and soon news of it reached the Magic Council. They were stunned that someone so young had bested one of the strongest S-class mages alive. The council insisted on meeting him. Naruto, uninterested, refused, until Makarov convinced him to attend just once, reminding him of the responsibility that came with power. Out of respect for the man he considered a grandfather, Naruto agreed. Flashback, x 781 Naruto and Makarov stood before the council in Era. Naruto looked utterly bored, already certain of their intentions. He knew they wanted something from him. Greetings, council, Makarov said respectfully, bowing his head. Naruto, however, didn't move. His sharp gaze remained fixed on them. Why do you not greet us, Naruto-san? One counselor asked sternly. Naruto raised an eyebrow. And why should I? Gasps filled the chamber. We are the Magic Council. We demand respect. Another barked. Naruto's eyes narrowed. Respect isn't demanded, it's earned. And from where I'm standing, you've earned none. Remember, you begged me to come here. If it weren't for my master, I'd have ignored your summons completely. The chamber bristled with anger. One member began to threaten him, until the entire hall shook as Naruto released just a fraction of his power. His cold, unblinking stare sent a chill down every spine in the room. Choose your words wisely, he said, voice low and deadly. If you ever try to harm my guild, I'll make sure you're stripped of your positions, or worse, unable to move for months. The counselors went pale, though 3 figures studied him differently. Seagrain, Ultir, and Yajima. Seagrain's sharp blue hair and marked face betrayed quiet amusement. Ultir's sultry gaze made Naruto uncomfortable, reminding him of the fangirls he despised. Yajima, the elder with kind eyes, simply watched with pride. "That's enough, Naruto," Makarov ordered. With a sigh, Naruto reigned in his power. Finally, an older woman named Belno spoke. "Naruto Hakuto, the council would like to offer you a seat among the wizard saints. Your power is undeniable, proven worthy of the title. Do you accept?" Every eye was on him. The council expected gratitude. "I'm not interested," Naruto said flatly. The chamber erupted in outrage. "Why would you refuse such an honor?" Org, the bearded elder, demanded furiously. Naruto's smirk returned. "Because I already know your game. You want to control me, use me as your weapon, your errand boy. Sorry, but I'm no one's lapdog. I don't care about your titles. I'm Naruto Hakuto, proud member of Fairy Tail, and no one controls me." His voice boomed, shaking the room with conviction. Some scowled in rage, others gaped in shock. Seagrain and Ultir smirked in amusement, while Makarov and Yajima smiled with pride. "Titles mean nothing," Naruto added, his tone sharp as a blade. "You think being on the council makes you superior, but without the people, you are nothing. That's why Fairy Tail chooses destruction over letting innocents suffer. So remember your place." The silence that followed was deafening. The council glared at him with hatred, but Naruto's glare was fiercer, unyielding. "If nobody has anything else to add, I'm heading out. Master, I'll see you back at the guild," Naruto said, giving Makarov a casual nod. A golden aura instantly wrapped around his body, catching Seagrain and Ultir completely off guard as their eyes widened. Without hesitation, Naruto launched himself skyward, blasting straight through the roof and leaving a gaping hole above them. Makarov sweat dropped at the destruction while Yajima chuckled at the scene. "Well, that was certainly entertaining. Seems like Naruto-san wields magic similar to mine," Seagrain remarked with a sly grin. Org, however, glared daggers at him. "That brat has some nerve. He insults us, tells us how to run things, and you call that entertaining? He should be arrested on the spot." Ultir shook her head, her tone calm but pointed. "Naruto-san isn't wrong. The council has been slandering Fairy Tail for years. He strikes me as someone who'd protect his guild no matter the cost, especially since he sees them as his family." Yajima added in support. "And let's be real here, Org. If you tried to arrest him without a solid reason, the king himself would demand answers. Without justification, you'd lose your seat faster than you think." Org clenched his teeth, knowing Yajima spoke the truth. "The meeting is over," the head councilman finally declared. One by one, the members began to file out until only Yajima and Makarov remained. "You've got quite the remarkable member, Makarov," Yajima said with a small smile. "If he ever inherits the position of guild master, Fairy Tail would be in good hands." Makarov gave a firm nod, agreeing silently as the two walked out to continue their talk elsewhere. Flashback ends after that day, the council stopped pressuring Naruto about joining them. Instead, they offered him the rank of SS class mage. The title raised some suspicion in Naruto, but he accepted, especially after learning it was just a rank. What made it significant, however, was that he became the first wizard in history to officially hold the rank. Gildarts himself had only been classified as S-class. Not long after, Naruto embarked on his first SS-class mission with Toka, which they wrapped up in just 2 months. Their success boosted both his and Fairy Tail's reputation immensely. During this period, Naruto also expanded his abilities. He exchanged training with Gray, picking up ice make magic in return for helping Gray improve. He also stumbled across a book on teleportation magic during one of his high-level missions. The technique bore a striking resemblance to Minato's Hurashin no Jutsu, and Naruto threw himself into mastering it. Months later, he had perfected it, earning the nickname White Flash of Fairy Tail thanks to his blinding speed. Naruto didn't stop there. He created new spells that required his celestial spirit keys, like Virgo, to unleash. He also developed unique forms using his Dragon Slayer magic. Even with all his magical growth, he didn't abandon his shinobi roots. He spent hours poring over stolen scrolls and texts about Konoha and the shinobi world, shocked to discover he had inherited Kushina's chakra chains. Training with clones, he dedicated months to mastering them. He even helped Toka strengthen her magic. She had a natural gift, but under Naruto's guidance, she learned heavenly magic, the only structured magic she actively studied. 2 years flew by. During that time, Naruto noticed subtle changes, particularly with Urza and Myra. Their feelings for him became clearer, and Naruto, sharp as ever, picked up on it. They invited him on missions more often, especially after becoming S-class themselves. Sometimes they'd ask him to tag along on simple errands or shopping trips. But with their rivalry heating up, things escalated quickly. If Naruto gave one of them attention, the other would butt in, sparking explosive guild fights that often ended with Naruto knocking them both unconscious just to stop the chaos. Around the same time, Kana approached Naruto, asking for his help to grow stronger. He gladly agreed. But once Urza and Myra learned of this, they insisted on joining too. Training sessions turned into all-out wars whenever Urza and Myra clashed, leaving battlefields in ruins. To contain the destruction, Naruto had to craft a special sealing array to dampen the damage during their sparring. When it came to flirting, however, Naruto chose to play dumb. He didn't want to hurt either girl's feelings, knowing that picking one would break the other's heart. Naruto also maintained steady contact with Princess Hisui, using a communication lacrima. Whenever the king requested Fairy Tail's aid, Naruto would visit Fior's royal family and sometimes mentor Hisui, who had begun studying magic. He checked in every few months and was pleased to see her progress. Now Naruto sat quietly on a train, Toka perched on his head as usual. They had just wrapped up another S-class mission and were on their way back to Magnolia. Lost in thought, Naruto stared blankly out the window until Toka tilted her head and asked, "What's wrong, Nig-san?" Startled, Naruto blinked and smiled faintly. "Nothing, Toka-chan. Just thinking about the past." Before he could elaborate, gasps rippled through the train car. "Look over there! My God! What happened?" Naruto and Toka turned to the window and their eyes widened. A column of black smoke curled above a small town in the distance. Nearby, a herd of wild animals rested at the forest's edge, exhausted from a rampage. A group of civilians waved frantically at the train, forcing it to screech to a halt. Passengers stumbled as the brakes whined, and the desperate villagers began climbing aboard. "We're sorry," one of them cried. "Our town was attacked by a horde of beasts. Our homes are burning," another shouted. Panic spread through the car until someone reassured, "No one was hurt. Thank the gods, a fairy tale mage warned us in time." Naruto and Toka perked up, relieved, until the villager added, "But we lost track of them. There were 3 mages, but 2 went missing after confronting the monster that caused all this." Smash! The sound of glass shattering silenced the car. Everyone turned to see a broken window, shards glittering on the floor. Naruto had already launched himself into the sky, Toka in battle form right behind him. "Nig-san, who do you think they are?" she asked as they sped toward the smoke. "I don't know," Naruto answered, golden cloak flaring around him as Toka's aura burned violet. "But we'd better hurry. I just hope we're not too late." Near the burning village Lysana stood frozen, gazing at her brother, who had lost himself to his full-body beast form. Despite her trembling hands, she smiled through tears. "Elf Niachin, I'm so proud of you. You used your full strength to protect Mirani, didn't you? That's just like you." Her voice quivered, but she pressed on. "I'm sorry I couldn't fight beside you. If I were stronger, maybe you wouldn't have had to risk so much. This is my fault. I'm so sorry." But she shook her head, forcing a smile. "It's okay now, you saved us. And I know you can come back because you're my big brother. You can do anything." She opened her arms wide. "So let's go home together, okay?" For a moment, hope flickered, until the beast lifted his arm, preparing to strike her down. "Lisana," Myra screamed in horror as the blow came. But before it could connect, a blinding flash of gold and violet streaked past. The beast roared as it was slammed to the ground by twin blasts of energy. Lysana and Myra's eyes went wide. "Naruto Nig, Toka-chan," they cried in shock as the 2 landed in front of them, shielding Lysana. "Lysana, are you hurt?" Naruto asked gently. She shook her head, still shaken. Myra rushed over. "Naruto, Toka, why are you here?" "The villagers stopped our train. They said fairy tale mages were here, fighting a monster. I never imagined it would be you too. Or that you'd be up against the king of beasts," Naruto replied grimly, turning his gaze toward the creature as it began to rise again. Toka, get Myra and Lysana somewhere safe. I'll handle this thing, Naruto called out, flames and frost flickering around his hands. Naruto, wait, Myra cried, making him pause just before he charged in. Her voice trembled as she lowered her head. That creature, it's Elfman. Naruto froze. Toka's eyes widened as both of them turned toward the towering beast whose shadow stretched across the rooftops of the town. Naruto's voice came out in disbelief. That monster is Elfman. How? Myra clenched her fists, fighting back tears. He tried to use his takeover on the beast we were supposed to drive away. But it was too much for him. He's lost control. Please, Naruto, I know it seems hopeless, but her voice cracked as she lifted her pleading eyes toward him. He's my brother. Save him. Naruto drew in a sharp breath, clenching his fists before exhaling. He gave a firm nod. I'll bring him back. The ground shook as the massive beast let out a thunderous roar and charged. Naruto pressed his palms together. Ice make, rampart. A colossal wall of ice erupted before them, halting the beast's advance. Cracks immediately splintered across the barrier as the monster slammed against it, shaking the earth. TCH, Naruto grit his teeth. Then an idea struck. He looked to Toka. Buy me some time. Toka nodded without hesitation, soaring upward just as the ice wall shattered. Holy SHOTS, she shouted, releasing beams of violet energy that forced the beast onto the defensive. The monster growled, swiping its enormous arm at her. Force field, she countered, shimmering light halting its swing. Naruto slammed his hands to the ground, a glowing magic circle spreading beneath the beast. Elfman, time to wake up. White magic, SUPPRESSED soul beast. A pillar of light descended from the heavens, engulfing the rampaging monster. Myra and Lysana gasped, shielding their eyes. When the light faded, Elfman lay unconscious on the ground, his body returned to normal. ELFMAN, the sisters cried, rushing forward. Naruto checked Elfman's condition, then let out a relieved sigh. He's fine, just drained. He'll probably be out for a day or two, but he'll recover. Everyone exhaled in relief. Thank you, Naruto-sama, Lysana said softly. If you hadn't been here, I don't know what would have happened. Naruto gave her a warm smile. Don't mention it, Lysana-chan. Let's get him back to the guild so he can rest. He hoisted Elfman onto his back, steadying Myra and Lysana with his free arm. Myra blushed at the sudden closeness, making Lysana smirk knowingly. I knew it. Mirani has feelings for Naruto-sama, Lysana thought with amusement. I'm teleporting us back, Naruto said matter-of-factly. Don't forget, they call me the White Flash of Fairy Tale for a reason. A magic circle flared beneath their feet, and in a flash of white light, they were gone. Inside the guild, the usual lively chatter halted when Naruto and the others suddenly appeared in the middle of the guild. Gasps turned to horror when everyone saw Elfman limp and bruised. ELFMAN, guild members cried, rushing forward. Get him to the infirmary now, Master Makarov barked. Lysana and others quickly carried Elfman away. The old master's eyes then turned to Naruto and Myra. You too. My office. Naruto nodded, handing Elfman over to Lysana before following Makarov with Myra. Once inside, Makarov's face was grave. Explain, what happened out there? Myra recounted everything. The mission, Elfman's attempt at takeover, and how it spiraled out of control until Naruto intervened. Makarov leaned back in his chair with a heavy sigh. You're fortunate Naruto and Toka arrived when they did. Otherwise, this could have ended in tragedy. Myra lowered her gaze. I know, Master. I'm grateful, she paused, then spoke with quiet resolve. I think I'll step back from missions for a while. Both Naruto and Makarov blinked at her. Are you certain, Myra? Makarov asked gently. I am, she said firmly, eyes steady. Seeing her determination, Makarov finally nodded. Very well. Thank you, Master, Myra said softly, then turned to Naruto. And thank you for saving my brother. Naruto placed a hand on her shoulder and smiled warmly. We're family, Mira-chan. No matter what happens, we look out for each other. Her eyes softened, and she quietly left the office. Makarov chuckled. Naruto, you're a blessing to this guild. Later that evening, Naruto sighed as he stepped outside. It had been a long day, and all he wanted was rest. With Toka staying over with Lysana, his home would be quiet tonight. As he walked past the riverbank, he spotted a familiar figure. Urza-chan, he called out. The red-haired knight turned in surprise. Naruto-kun, what are you doing here? I always pass this way heading home, he replied. I see, she murmured. Naruto tilted his head. And you, why are you out here alone? Urza hesitated, then sighed deeply. There's something I need to tell you. Before he could ask, she suddenly leaned forward and pressed her lips to his. Naruto's eyes went wide. What do I do? Kami, why me? A voice chuckled in his head. Quit panicking and kiss her back, idiot. Ryu. Yes, it's me. Listen. Stop ignoring the feelings of the girls around you. You care for them and they care for you. Don't run from it. Naruto swallowed. But if I choose one, the others will be hurt. You're not just human, Naruto. As the son of a dragon god, you're capable of forming more than one bond. They'll accept it if you're honest with them. The voice faded, leaving Naruto stunned. Urza was still kissing him, trembling slightly. Taking Ryu's advice, Naruto closed his eyes and kissed her back, wrapping his arms around her. A tear slid down Urza's cheek, not from sadness but pure happiness. She knew she had fallen for him, not for his strength or reputation, but for his kindness and unwavering loyalty. When they finally pulled apart, their eyes met. Naruto-kun, Urza whispered. I love you. She buried her face against his chest, and Naruto's expression softened as he embraced her back. For Urza, it felt as if the loneliness of her past was finally melting away. Naruto-kun, Urza asked softly, confusion in her eyes. Naruto gently took her hands, leading her to sit with him by the riverbank. The silence between them stretched on, heavy and unsettling, making Urza's chest tighten. She worried that Naruto might be second-guessing his choice, and the thought alone made her heart ache with every passing second. Just as Urza was about to break the silence, Naruto finally spoke first. Urza-chan, he said, looking straight into her eyes. Before you truly accept me, there's something important you need to know. Urza tilted her head in curiosity, but chose to stay quiet, giving him her full attention. Naruto let out a deep sigh, then began sharing his truth. He explained that he wasn't born in Earthland, but in a faraway world called the Elemental Nations. Urza was stunned at this revelation, but her expression remained calm as she listened. Naruto continued, telling her about his painful childhood, how his so-called family and even his entire village had abandoned him, treating him like an outcast. The only one who had ever stood by his side was Itachi, whom he considered a true brother. Hearing this, Urza's chest burned with anger toward those people, and she silently vowed that if she ever met them, she'd make them regret what they had done. Naruto went on, describing his life as a wanderer, his training under his foster father, and how he deliberately acted clueless around women so none of them would suffer because of him. That part made Urza clench her fists, torn between wanting to smack him for his foolishness and embracing him for caring so much about their feelings. Finally, he revealed the biggest truth of all, that he was the son of a dragon god, destined to become the Dragon King once he defeated Acknowledge. Because of this lineage, he had multiple mates, bound to him by fate. When he finished, he turned to her with a nervous look. So, after hearing all that, do you still love me, Urza-chan? Do you still want to accept me? Before Naruto could say another word, Urza cupped his face with both hands, pulled him close, and kissed him passionately. He froze in shock at first but quickly melted into it. After half a minute, she broke the kiss and rested her forehead against his, gazing into his eyes with a soft smile. I don't care about your past, Naruto-kun. My feelings won't change. I love you with everything I have. And while it was incredibly stupid of you to shoulder all that alone, it also shows how deeply you care. Naruto chuckled lightly at her words. But make no mistake, she added with a smirk. I'm not letting go of you. Even if I have to share, my love won't waver. Naruto's eyes widened in surprise. Really? Yes, but on one condition, she said, leaning closer to whisper in his ear. What condition? He asked nervously. I'll be the one to take your first time, Urza whispered, making his entire face flush red. He could only nod, speechless. Good, Urza said with a triumphant smile, hugging him tightly. Naruto wrapped his arms around her, his heart filled with relief and joy. He was grateful beyond words that Urza accepted him, and even more, that she was willing to share him with others. 5 months later, time passed quickly since the S-Class mission, where Naruto saved Myra and her siblings, and when he and Urza officially became a couple. Myra had been deeply scarred by that mission, and the experience changed her completely. She no longer picked fights or bullied others in the guild. Instead, she became warm, nurturing, and motherly toward her guildmates, always kind even to strangers. She and Urza had also ended their rivalry, growing much closer over time. Myra even took on the role of a barmaid in the guild, smiling more than ever before. Elfman, burdened with guilt for almost causing his sister's deaths, begged their forgiveness. Both Myra and Lysana forgave him easily, and he thanked Naruto sincerely for saving them. Naruto brushed it off, but when Elfman asked to train under him, Naruto gladly agreed. Lysana didn't change much outwardly, but she finally confessed her feelings to Natsu. The Dragon Slayer accepted her, and the two grew much closer. Lysana also helped Myra run the guild's bar, finding comfort in her sister's new personality. As for Naruto and Urza, they revealed their relationship to the guild about a week after becoming a couple. The announcement led to a big celebration, though Myra and Kana were crushed upon hearing the news. Heartbroken, the two avoided Naruto for a few days, which worried him. Eventually, Urza spoke with them, explaining Naruto's unique situation and his destiny to have multiple mates. She made it clear that she didn't mind sharing, surprising both women. She also revealed how Naruto had known about their feelings all along, but had acted dense to avoid hurting anyone or breaking friendships. That revelation left both Myra and Kana frustrated. They wanted to slap him for his foolishness, yet part of them just wanted to embrace him. By the end of the week, both confessed their love to Naruto. He told them the truth about himself, but like Urza, they still accepted him. From that day on, Naruto was dating Urza, Myra, and Kana, earning the envy and jealousy of nearly every man in fairy tale. Now, in the present, Naruto was training Elfman, Gray, and Natsu together in the forest. The three attacked him at once, while Naruto effortlessly dodged their strikes. Today marked the final day of their training, and Naruto wanted to test how far they had come. Ice Make. Lance, Gray shouted, firing multiple ice spears at Naruto. Meteor, Naruto responded, his body glowing in a golden cloak as he dashed forward, easily dodging the lances. He closed the gap and struck Gray square in the chest, sending him crashing into a tree. At the same time, Natsu and Elfman rushed him. Fire Dragon Iron Fist, Natsu roared, his fist engulfed in flames. Beast Arm. Iron Bull, Elfman bellowed, his arm transforming into a heavy, metallic weapon. Both struck at Naruto from opposite sides, only for Naruto to catch their fists effortlessly with each hand. Both boys froze in disbelief, their eyes wide. Naruto smirked. Not bad, he said with a confident grin, but it'll take a lot more than that to bring me down. With a quick motion, he hurled them back, sending both crashing into the trees alongside Gray. Natsu, Gray, and Elfman slowly pushed themselves off the ground, groaning from exhaustion, only to see Naruto standing a few meters away with his arms folded, a sly smirk tugging at his lips. Is that all you've got? Naruto teased, his tone dripping with mockery. The three glared at him in frustration. We're not finished. Isemake, sword, Gray roared as an icy blade formed in his hand before he rushed at Naruto. Fire Dragon, Sword Horn, Natsu shouted, his body cloaked in flames as he charged forward. Take over, Beast Soul, Elfman bellowed, transforming into the monstrous form that once nearly cost his sister her life. Thanks to months of Naruto's brutal training, Elfman had finally gained control over his beast, though he still struggled to maintain it for long due to his limited magical reserves. The three stormed toward Naruto in unison. Naruto's smirk softened into a proud smile. He could see how far they had come. Their teamwork, their control, their determination, all proof of their progress. Deciding they'd earned it, he resolved to turn up the heat just a little. All right then, I'll get a bit serious. Hyper Ice Dragon Mode. Naruto's voice boomed as his body ignited with a rainbow-colored aura. A shockwave erupted outward, halting the trio's attacks and sending them flying back. The three managed to rise to their feet, but their eyes widened in disbelief. Flames of blue danced on Naruto's head, his pupils darkened, and his irises shone with a lighter glow. Naruto inhaled deeply, gathering power. Ice Dragon Roar, he unleashed, releasing a torrent of icy energy straight at them. Boom, the explosion tore through the ground, shaking the air. As the smoke cleared, Naruto blinked in surprise. The three were still standing, barely holding on. A proud grin spread across his face. Even at just 10% of my strength, that attack should have flattened them. These three are going to be among fairy tale's strongest someday, he thought with satisfaction. Moments later, the three finally collapsed, unconscious. Naruto sighed, summoned three clones, and instructed them to carry the boys back to the guild. Time skip, we're back, Naruto called as he walked in, flanked by clones carrying Natsu, Gray, and Elfman. Welcome BWHA? What happened to them? Lysana shouted, panic and worry flashing across her face at the sight of her brother and friends. They're fine. Just knocked out from a spar with me, Naruto reassured, waving a hand casually as the clones carried them to the infirmary. Lysana exhaled in relief but frowned. You really didn't have to go that hard on them, Naruto-nae, she scolded gently. Naruto chuckled. She's right, Nick-san, Toka chimed in as she floated down beside them. You pushed them way too much. They asked me to take things up a notch, so I gave them 10% of my power, Naruto said with a shrug. Toka's eyes narrowed. Don't tell me you used your Dragon God Slayer magic on them. Naruto laughed nervously, rubbing the back of his head before giving a small nod. You realize that even at 10%, that magic can level half a battlefield, right? Toka snapped. All right, no need to tag team on me, Naruto muttered. But before the two could continue, Myra walked over. That's enough, you two. No ganging up on Naruto-kun. Myra's appearance had changed. Her hair now flowed freely down her back with a stylish upward ponytail framing her face, and she wore a sleeveless maroon dress that reached her ankles. But Mirani, Lysana whined, only to be hushed with a gentle pat. They asked for him to go all out. It's not like he forced it, Myra said softly. Naruto smirked. Besides, if I'd really gone all out, they'd have been in casts by now. And it wasn't an exaggeration. Naruto's training methods often left his students battered and bruised, earning him the reputation of a merciless taskmaster. Lysana and Toka exchanged a defeated glance before sighing in unison. Lysana went to check on the boys, while Naruto and Toka grabbed a table and ordered food. A few minutes later, Myra set down their meals. So Nick-san, how are the three progressing? Toka asked between bites of bread. Myra also leaned in, curious. They're doing well, Naruto began. Natsu's managed to tap into Dragon Force, though he needs to absorb pure, concentrated ether nano to enter it fully, and even then it drains him after 15 minutes. Gray's on par with Natsu in raw power, but his reaction timing still needs sharpening. As for Elfman, Naruto paused, making them both lean closer. He's finally mastered control of his takeover, but his magical reserves need to grow if he wants to maintain the form for long. Toka and Myra smiled warmly, Myra especially proud of her brother for overcoming his old fears. That's good to hear, but when do you think they'll be ready for S-class? Toka asked. Naruto shrugged. That's up to them now. Today was their last training session with me. From here, they've got to figure out their own path to strength. The girls were surprised, but before they could reply, the guild doors swung open. Kana and Urza stepped inside, smiling as Naruto greeted them. Soon, the guild returned to its usual lively chaos, with Natsu, Gray, and Elfman waking up and immediately brawling again. But the noise came to a sudden halt as a blinding light engulfed the room. What the? Naruto growled, shielding his eyes along with everyone else. When the brilliance finally faded, gasps filled the air. A breathtaking woman hovered above the guild floor before slowly descending. She had flowing black hair, piercing black eyes, and wore a pristine white kimono. Her gaze swept the room, ignoring the stairs before her voice rang out. Which one of you is Naruto Hakuto? Naruto stepped forward, cautious yet curious. That would be me, and you are. He couldn't ignore the overwhelming, divine aura radiating from her. The woman smiled faintly, sending a chill down Naruto's spine. Naruto Hakuto, or should I say Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, son of Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki, brother of Hitomi Namikaze. The guild collectively gasped, jaws dropping. Only Toka and Naruto's close companions weren't surprised. They already knew his past. But even they wondered how this mysterious woman knew. Naruto's expression hardened, rainbow flames crackling around his hands. Who are you, and how do you know my real name? His voice was sharp, dangerous. The same tone Makarov had only ever heard when Naruto truly lost his temper. The woman's lips curved into a serene smile. My name is Kami, Naruto-kun, and I've come to return you to your true world.